Welcome back, everyone, to Phil's Recap and Review, Westworld Season 2, Episode 9, Vanishing Point. Wow, what an episode of Westworld, and the only thing I can say at the top of my lungs is this.
Out of my fucking head!
One more time, Bernard.
Get out of my fucking head!
Holy shit, Westworld, way to go. What an episode of Westworld. I'm so excited to be back here. I'm not alone. I'm with the live motherfucking chat. We got so many good people that will be popping in and out during this evening. Please share your thoughts on Westworld whenever you're checking this out, whether it be in the comment section below. If you're listening to the podcast later, please leave a comment somewhere or email me at igottissuesman@gmail.com. We also have a call-in line that you can leave a voicemail or a text at 781-990-8509. You can use that number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I mentioned the live motherfucking chat. Whoa, I'm out of breath because of this episode of Westworld. This was one of those episodes that I was strapped on in. This is why you tune into Westworld, to get payoffs like this. Last week's episode, things that happened in last week's episode, everyone talking about that being one of the single better episodes of Westworld for the people that were feeling it. I accept that. It was awesome. But this episode is the one that straps you in and brings you on a ride. Holy motherfucking shit. What a great episode. I enjoyed this one from beginning to end. We have a new award winner for Father of the Year. Congratulations. Finally knocking out Stannis Baratheon as the Father of the Year on Father's Day. The Man in Black killing his own daughter. Love that. Love it. But was he the Man in Black? Could he be a host? For the first time ever, I'm actually on board, and applause to Sir Hunts and all those other people that happen to believe in the Man in Black is a host, or there's some hinkiness going on there. I'm not ready to jump all the way in that bath. I mean, I'm sprinkling the water on me now. Before I was ignoring it, going, that's a fucking mirage. Fuck that shit. Now, I'm willing to say that there's some water there. I'm not ready to go swimming or drink the water yet. Not drinking the water yet, but I see the water there, and it was very wet tonight. There was a lot of wetness with the Man in Black as a host thing, or at least that he's part way a host, or he's hacked into it to a certain extent. What I'm working on right now in this moment is that it's a multiplicity kind of thing where he made a version of himself to go deal with his family while him himself could stay in Westworld as part of it. I don't know. I'm confused. I need the help of the live motherfucking chat. I need the help of anyone that wants to call in and leave me a voicemail tonight. The call-in feature is fucked up at the moment, so we can't get any live calls for discussions back and forth, but love to hear your voicemails, and we'll play any we get tonight at 781-990-8509, or text me in that same number. Let's go to the live chat. Someone on Reddit predicted the Ford Emily thing for perfection, says Deborah. Hey, great to see you. Teddy blew my mind along with his. Bran is the Prince of Night King. Hey, great to see everyone. Best episode. Ford kisses Maeve. Happy Father's Day. And we got another heaping load of Anthony Hopkins all over our face in this episode, and that is never bad with me. And I love him back as part of this. Again, I sound like a fucking broken record on each one of these. What is so awesome about this is they don't hold anything back in what they actually give you as they proceed this storyline. There's no holding back of these mysteries, ultimately. They give you, they fuel it. It's not just being ignored as we head into the series 2's finale next week. So much good stuff to unpack and talk about in this episode. Dolores in the Teddy situation coming to a head. Teddy doing in a much shorter period of time what Jaime Lannister's taken him a long fucking time to do. And I know, no Game of Thrones spoilers here, but ultimately breaking apart from the Deathbringer. I love how Teddy started to put the pieces together, and the reveries and everything that's hooked up in these in the host having the self-discovery allows him to date back and figure out what Dolores did to him. And that was an excellent scene. Well done by James Marsden. And I liked seeing him overcome that and finally say, fuck you. I was hoping he was going to shoot Dolores, but which is amazing to think when you're looking back in this whole series that how much Dolores has been the hero of it at times, at least for a lot of people. Excuse me. But But seeing her in this situation right now, I was rooting for Teddy to finish the Deathbringer in the Sleepy Hollows once and for all. We had a callback to some Splenda. We heard about the natural Splenda. I can't get enough fucking Splenda, you motherfuckers. Oh, now I'm gonna be picking Splenda out of my fucking house. We got some Anthony Hopkins, Bernard, Rick and Morty scenes. Yes, we did. We totally got that. Tom himself told you, Phil. Men in Black's the fucking host. Confirmed, asshole. Oh, God. Hey, motherfucking chat. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in tonight, checking this out. I know that it's freaking amazing. We only have 1 week left to Westworld. It's crazy how quickly these seasons go. And I said, it's crazy how the seasons go. But it really did flash. Maybe part of the reason is that I was away for 2 weeks of it. So there was I'm missing 2 episodes in my Westworld conclusion. But it feels like this season just zipped by. I love the pacing of this episode too. That was one of the things I enjoyed most about this. I felt like this episode was really tight. Didn't have any dragging moments. But still fit in moments of reflection and pausing and really taking its moments and taking its depth actually at times. But I think the pacing was just motherfucker. Ow, I just punched my ring. What an ass. Oh, see? I can't be too. See, that's what happens when I try to be tough or aggressive there. I'm like, I'm going to punch my, and I just punch my fucking ring in my fucking face. Bad. I need to hack into my code and do something about that. I'm goofy, I'm hype, I'm excited. That episode got me uppity. And I'm uppity and can't wait to get into this and break down this episode scene for scene. We got Steph Snow in the live chat. We got Fine Essence. We got Trisha. Sorry, Em. I see Trisha. I must say Trisha. Sorry to anybody else whose names I say incorrectly because I just read the name that you have in the chat. But it is great to see all of our friends popping on in here, sticking their heads in the live chat, dipping in this water of a really amazing second to last episode. Penultimate episode. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me emotionally what you thought of the penultimate episode of Westworld. Yeah. Sorry about that, especially to the people listening to the audio cast at any point in time. I apologize. After 2 slow episodes, this one paid off. I got what I've been wanting since I first saw Teddy. And excellent point by Tom. And Tom, that's an excellent point. But I think that's the beauty of having those kind of episodes, having those slower episodes that build, as I like to call it, the texture of the world. And by building that, it makes episodes like this, when you pay shit off, really. I mean, I wanted to know the Man in Black's story, get a little bit deeper into what happened to his wife and get that. And we got all of that in droves of amazingness to actually see what happened and see how that disclosed everything. I like how each episode is focusing on a character. But what was cool about this episode, which definitely focused on the Man in Black, focused on Teddy, it had some other stuff going on. Last week's episode also did too, but it felt very much like a station episode, and that's not bad. Station episodes are great. The only reason I'm saying station is because I have Bill and Ted on the mind. Stationary episode that just kind of are stuck in one plot, and I don't mean stuck in necessarily a bad way. But the way that this story just moved around in this episode, it was the first time I'd really loved the Dolores scenes in a while too, because they would just quick, and seeing Teddy and seeing James Marsden, who had one of probably his best episodes overall of Westworld, just seeing his acting within. And then again, as I mentioned last week, this back half of these episodes, having Anthony Hopkins in your back pocket and just bringing him out towards the back half, it's like waiting for your best player and then he doesn't come in till the last half of the game, and they're like, okay, why don't we bring Bo Jackson in to run the ball? Okay, well, why don't we do that? Dun 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 dun. Fuck. VFW or VF Warlord. I enjoy watching season 1 even more informed with the Delos plot from season 2, and that's what makes a great show. I think, for me, anyways, it's when future episodes can make the earlier episodes better, not ultimately contradict stuff too much. And things don't have to be as tight I was just thinking of 10 million dirty things that I could say as tight as. But the plot doesn't need to be so tight. I'm not really crazy. Oh, this thing conflicts this thing. I mean, I forgive that stuff in the face of good entertainment. But when future seasons can make an earlier season better, and I think season 2 has made season 1 of Westworld better for me as well. The lights can't go Raiders, Tyrion. Crazy twists. You hear my Bo Jackson comment, Tyrion. What did she see when she uploaded William's cards? That was a host I saw delusional and paranoid. It was either his host profile, which seems like an obvious thing, or it could be the Delos file on all the things that he's done in Westworld. That's why I'm still halfway in there. The profile thing that they were looking at could be the Delos profile that he was looking at, because when he's talking to the daughter or later in the episodes, and we're going to listen to all the audio. Hopefully it's all good, but we're going to listen to all the audio of that just to hear it again. But I think he said something to the daughter that Delos is recording everybody, whether they like it. It's something implanted in their minds or something. So I assume his record of all his actions were recorded as well. But how I read that scene and how Stephanie, who was in the room with me as well, read it, said, oh, he's a host. This means he's a host, and the digging into his arm. What I'm not sure, and I don't know if it would be even more tragic if he thinks he's a host and he isn't a host, or he created some sort of host to deal with regular life, like create a clone of himself that could somewhat function to deal with his family, and he was staying in Westworld. I'm making shit up right now. I am putting the hat on, going, I am conjuring up some thoughts right now. But I'm fully willing now to rub some of that William is a host shit all over my body. I'm getting there. I'm not afraid to be wrong, and I'm not afraid to turn it around and fit in the face of some good entertainment. Azimuth Games, crazy fucking twist. Excuse me. Is it bad that I want to see Ford and Bernard scenes set in the Golden Girls? Thank you for being a friend, Bernard. Travel down the road and rock again. Corey Mitchell, as always, you cracking me up. Bernie the Burnt. I thought they were making organs for rich people, but they're making whole people. Hashtag the body snatchers or body snatchers. The halftime pep talk Ford gives Maeve was crazy good. That was the best Ford moment of the scene of the episode. The best Ford moment of the scene. The best Ford moment of the episode, I thought. Just because it's great to see Anthony Hopkins show some different sides of his emotional catalog there. Because in season 1, I talked about this a lot last week, but in season 1, Anthony Hopkins is very much through most of it, in my mind, in kind of one tone. He's very creepily cryptic. In this season, we're getting to see more of Ford at a lot of different points. Last week's episode was excellent with him, seeing him in that moment when he was cutting off the head or scalping and doing all of that. It was really crazy to see him impressed with what was happening. And here, seeing him emotionally attached to one of the hosts this much, and seeing that Maeve is his favorite, and seeing all of that emotion come there, and how much he actually cares for her, and imparting that onto her through a kiss, I just thought was done exceptionally effective, and it's a different side of Anthony Hopkins that I don't often see, the softer side, and it plays it really exceptionally well. Mix that with the Man in Black scene that we had with Ford and him, where the game's not over, fucker. We're gonna be fucking, or all the shit he did with Bernard. You're just getting to play in the Anthony Hopkins petri dish. Well, that sounds gross. I don't care if it sounds gross. It's fucking awesome. Okay, let's continue here. Pouring out one for the hot dead daughter, says Tom himself. Bring the burn. I thought they were making organs. The halftime show. Let me scroll down to the bottom and get back into modern time here. Chilling out. I've been watching Rain. I don't know how I got sucked into it. Also, if you pause when the Men in Black's profile comes up, it says precursory subtype, delusional paranoid subtype occurrence 0.0072 rare. William is most likely a host, and he'll eventually likely a host, and how he'll eventually became a host will probably be the story in season 3. Steph Snow says, okay, just a psychological profile, agreed, but nothing that seems to want to push her to suicide. I think he's digging for something he won't find. He's losing it. He's totally losing it. Stephanie, the other Stephanie, her response when I said, so does this mean what's going on with the Men in Black? She just turned to me in this really innocent look and goes, he's very confused. And that was the truest thing I think you could say about whether he's a host or whether he's not a host. The Man in Black, the guy we're seeing in the scenes with his daughter's character, and then right after that, walking through screaming, "Fuck you, Ford! Fuck you!" Walking around like Clint Eastwood in The Unforgiven or something, just walking around angry. That guy is very, very confused. He's very, very confused. I forgot to open it up here to the live motherfucking chat. Yeah, let's get the motherfucking chat on the screen here. Here we go. True. Asman says, it was implanted in the hats. I think it was the cards. Okay, that's what it meant. Where it didn't matter which one you choose. It's implanted in the hats, and it's something that picks up there. Thank you, Asmith Games. She was a good drunk actor, but she's sexy as hell. In the hats, she saw his amateur porn. Yeah, she saw her amateur porn. She finished it. It's just so fitting into an archetype. Season 2 makes season 1 worth the watch, says M. Burn the Burnt. I didn't like the Men in Black's wife's acting at times. It was over the top. I didn't like her in the party scene. I liked her in some of the more quieter scenes that she did later, and I have to re-listen to it to be triggered or start to read some of my notes. But when we were first introduced to her in the party, I felt like she was a little over the top at times. Hey, Apulia, Lav, great to see Lala, I mean. D, Dennis, I see Dennis up in there. Dennis, thank you, welcome back. K, Rich, love the cowboy hat. NeuroNet reader reminds me of a guy with a hairnet in strange times. He's a host. He's the hostess with the mostest. So I don't do a lot of this, but I'm very curious in the live chat. Say if you think that Teddy, the Man in Black, is a host, say yes. If you think he's not a Man in Black, not a host, say fuck no or some form of no. I'm not gonna do any weird emoji type thing, but I'd love to hear what people think ultimately. If you think this episode answers that question easily for you guys, is the Man in Black, and whoever, if you're watching this later on, love to hear everyone's thoughts. Some people might go, Phil, you're an idiot. It's obvious. Of course he's a host. It was as clear as the nose on my face. But I'm just curious what people's opinion is. Phil needs a cowboy hat. Do I? Do I need a cowboy hat? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Kathy says yes. Asma says no. Iron Throne is getting the cowboy. Steph is maybe no. I'm with Steph at maybe no. Anyone know some good time period shows? Vikings is a good time period show. I like that shit. Boardwalk Empire, another one. They gave indications he was looking to connect the form. No fucking idea, says M. It undercuts the Stoll's storyline from a literary standpoint. I will go to that with Nicholas, that I like it better if the Man in Black is just a very confused human. That's feeling this too much and kind of getting all obsessed with all of this. Edward says, I'm back, not a host, says Dennis. Yeah, I'm asking whether you guys think he's a host or not. Maybe yes, but yes, Westworld doesn't give you much clues. They gave us 2 big clues that he's actually a host. The Delos project works. The him doing the thing with his arms too. It's too fucking obvious that he's a host, which makes me doubt it. It sounded like the server filled with all the guys was basically the Matrix, and now we're gonna go into the big server. We got the little server. We got now get the big server. Again, I'm reading the live motherfucking chat right now, getting what people think right away after watching this episode, if they think that the Men in Black is a host. And as I mentioned, if you're watching this later, definitely, it doesn't matter if you're listening to the podcast or watching this later, share your thoughts on what the hell you think. You know how to reach me. He is rebuilt. Half man, half human, half dog, half ape, and then another half of a man. Rises from the sewer. His name is the Pat. He certainly get reasons to be fucked up. Oh yeah, and that's the thing too. We're following down his story, and this was an episode, as much as it moved overall storylines through. It was very much a Men in Black centric episode. Let me take my hat off. It doesn't fit over my headphones. I need to get smaller headphones. He's subject 0002 or 002. James Delos was 001. And Big Kev with a super chat donation. Holy shit, Big Kev. Those super chat donations mean more than you know, Kev. So that is incredibly fucking awesome. What's up, Phil? This episode was great. If you ask me, next week should be good. What'd you think of Chris Hardwick? Oh, my God. I'm going to hold my tongue and wait till more information comes out about that, except for to say that if AMC is looking for any hosts, I'll gladly take your shot. What do we got? We got some Trumpet and Ocarina fun. I don't have a trumpet out right now. I'm going to spin it again for you, Big Kev. Next week, I hope it doesn't end in the Forge. I expect the Forge stuff to be earlier on in the episode, and then spin again. Spin again? Get 3 fucking spins. They comment on his initial cheap suit so much, so sort of an odd detail. I would notice, but usually it's not something my whole family would comment on too. There's so much stuff like that. Are they giving us obvious clues because they're trying to... Is it a red herring? And it landed on everybody drink. Okay, I feel better about that, Big Cat. Regardless what you're drinking, pick it up. Pick up your drink. Let's toast it to the Man in Black being the Father of the Year, dethroning the real King Stannis Baratheon of his Father of the Year duties. No reason to say why for anyone who hasn't watched it, but we all know why if you're watching this. To Stannis losing to the Man in Black tonight. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, Mindfuck produces the highest quality in cowboy hats and other variants of Western wear. I want to get a... You don't want to hear me talk about picking up my cowboy hat. I was looking for a cowboy hat when I was in Nashville a lot, but they all had microchips in it trying to read my brain, so I couldn't find the right one. And everybody drink. Everybody fucking drink. So let's not waste any more time, any more of this foreplay babble, and let's actually stick our face in the pot. No more foreplay. Let's stick our face in the pot. What kind of pot you talking about, Phil? No, not that kind of pot. Reminds me of our good friend of the show, Kathy, retired nurse. That she'll understand the pot joke. Why do you have this pot at my house? Good to see everybody. Cheers to Stannis. Worst, yeah, it's the worst. Take your child to work today. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's start this shit. Where is it? Where's my goddamn music? Just play the fucking music. It's about time. It's about time to get into it. Click on it, damn you. Recap. Okay, let's get into this fucking recap. Let's recap this fucking episode. Haha. Let's get into recap, everybody. Haha. How can I buy this Westworld? Haha. And make a park and make some money. Ha. Shut up. Stay away from it, mouse. Stay the fuck away from it, mouse. Oh, heck. Now I'm here to... Get the fuck out of here, too. Don't you touch Westworld. Stay away. Dirty bastards. Okay, let's check. Let's go. Fuck, Tom. Fuck my mother. Fuck my mother's fuck. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. So, I am a host. Did something else come out? Here we go. This is the first time here, and I'm loving it, Phil. Kathy, thank you so much for being your first time here. Woo, Kathy. Kathy, you know what that means. I have to play a fucking silly drum solo for you. Welcome, Kathy. Welcome to the show. I'm embarrassing you now. Embarrassing you while we talk about some shit. There's someone out there that's being an asshole. Like, why don't you talk about Westworld? Why the fuck are you pointing out Kathy? But Kathy's awesome because she's here the motherfucking first time. Sorry, I'm excited. I'm always excited for first timers. So I like to stop and bring you in, sit you on Uncle Phil's ketchup couch in like a really friendly way and slap five and stuff. So welcome to the silliness. Disney collects data, and you have to put the little thumbprint when you go into Disney World too to get into the front through the gates. They make you put your thumbprint on the stuff. So who knows what they're taking some little DNA. I am a goddamn hippie, Trisha. What's up, Casey Atheist? Edward, all of you guys. I don't know my BF Phil 730. I love that name. And okay, thank you, Bernie. See, Bernie, that's what you need to do for things you don't want me to read. That helps my Ron Burgundy-ness. I was about to say, don't read this, Phil. Oh, wait. I know this is like Rocky Horror. We're gonna celebrate the virgins here. So welcome, Kathy. I really do appreciate it. Dip on in the water. The live motherfucking chat are a bunch of friendly people. And Tom, I totally suck. Like Tom, I'm the worst asshole ever. You did all this amazing work, and I suck for Tom. Tom again helped us out, and what kind of asshole am I? So let's see if I can fuck around here. No. Okay. So let's continue here. Let's get on. We open up on the Man in Black, and he's walking. We see some water coming off a chandelier, and it's all leading him to a gun in his head. And it's a little flashy, it's a little dreamy, and we see him going through the motions as a woman notices him. And let's listen to a little bit of this audio.
He's in. This thing in me.
Oh shit.
Even I didn't see it at first.
Holy shit, I gotta pause and say huge thanks to Steph Snow. Cheers on the chat. The best host ever. I am a host. No, you're so amazing, Steph Snow. What will we do after next Sunday is over? Well, do not worry. Sunday night is just one of those nights that I will try to podcast almost every Sunday night in this little time block. Might miss a few throughout the summer, but I'll try to keep this block as a go-to time. And then we also have Better Call Saul coming in August. July is going to be a lot of Game of Thrones stuff. Sundays, I might throw a few Game of Thrones content and some other random stuff Joe and I are going to be doing on Sunday evening. So just because next week is Westworld season finale doesn't mean if you're enjoying our silliness, you can't stick around for some other silliness that's coming. Glow is coming very soon. We'll be talking about that show and lots of other fun stuff coming up. So stay with us. If Disney takes over Westworld, you can finally get the fast pass on Clementine. Oh, we've got T. Turner, who her the first time as well. Bump. But another first time, because of the first time, I'm going to sit back and read you a book. Speaking of Disney World. A long time ago, there were 3 friends. Ha Mickey. Oh, and this is Goofy. They were very poor. All they had was an old cow and a jar of beans. One day, there was just one bean left. And Mickey said, we're down to our last bean. Donald says, beans are better than nothing. Oh, heck, what do we eat now? I'm hungry. And I want to say a big thank you to Tanisha Turner for being here for the first time, too. Time to shut the fuck up. Okay, I'm going to shut the fuck up. So, Phil the Issues Guy, did you watch American Gods yet? I didn't, but Joe watched it, and I'd love for Joe to do a review of that because I know he absolutely loved it. And if anybody does want to call in, as I mentioned, you all absolutely can and leave a voicemail at 781-990-8509. And I know what people are thinking, shut the fuck up, Phil. Get to the fucking episode. But you know as well as I do, and if you don't, I can't just talk about the episode. This podcast is more about me being crazy and needing to just keep talking than anything. And this episode has me excited, has me goofy, has me high on the episode. This is high in the episode. There's not enough sandwiches I could smoke right now to relax me from the level of excitement that this episode has me. So let me get back into this one more time and talk about this shit. What kind of beans are they eating? Is beans slang for smack? Is this a Rolling Stones song? Are they going to start singing Brown Sugar? And if people want to see me do a full version of this, more Deep Space Nine talk. See, I have to unzip this file. Oh, Tom, you're so awesome to do this, but I'm fucking it all up for you, buddy. Okay, so we open on the Men in Black. He's walking, and then we go. He's at his party, showing his party ego and his knowledge. I thought this was cool to kind of show him in a real life scenario. And we've heard so much about how he was a good person and humanitarian, doing all this shit for people, and he even mentions at a point in time, doesn't it even it out? I mean, I did a lot of good stuff in the real world, right? That matters. And yeah, it does matter. I'm horrible in Knights of the Old Republic. I am a murderous, evil Jedi that will destroy anyone that gets in my way for even a little bit of credits. So I mean, I get you, Men in Black. I play video games really horribly. I'm a horrible person in video games. Really. Like I cannot begin to tell you how many horrible decisions I make in video games that are evil or light side games. I always go to the dark side. I can't help myself. But so I relate. I like to think I do a few okay things in normal life. I know there'd probably be some people that would disagree with statements like that if they were listening to the show, but there's truth there. I've done some good things, sure. But I can relate to that. But it's really interesting to see him in a real life situation. So let's listen to a little bit of this.
That's a corruption, Jack. Plutarch didn't write that. He wrote that when Alexander was told there was an infinity of worlds, he wept. For he had yet to become the lord of even one.
Sometimes I forget your humble roots.
Oh, thank you, Dennis, for coming on over and checking it out. That was so awesome of Kyle and Gemma to have me on their cast the other night, and Gemma to have me on hers earlier in the week. If you guys haven't seen that, you can check that out on Kyle's channel. And huge thank you, Dennis, for checking this out for this silliness. Yeah, Ducat did nothing wrong. Ducat's misunderstood when it comes to the Bajoran people, right, Edward?
Poor kids actually read those books. The rich kids like me didn't have to.
I would rather excel in the knowledge of what is excellent than...
But yes, someone just texted me, Phil, I want to hear you read that whole Disney book. Oh, you guys want to hear me read the whole Disney book? Maybe not tonight, but I will read one day. I'll do a Mickey and the Beanstalk live on the channel, okay? You guys want to see that? Or I'll pre-record it. I will do it. I'll do it. Motherfucker. Motherfucker. Okay, so let me continue. What am I doing? I'm wasting time. More into this.
Extent of my power and possessions. Plutarch, from a rich kid who read.
To the loveliest, richest bookworms I know. And to you, William. Even if there is an infinity of worlds, you've conquered far more than one.
Have a good night, Jake.
Yeah.
Okay, bye, Jake. So we hear from his wife that helped out Emily's charity, and we just get. Ultimately a lot of this. I just want to play the audio and not even really babble too much about what happens. And I want to listen to what happens because there's a lot of dialogue in this. In certain scenes, I will explain what happens, but it's better. And I almost selfishly just want to hear some of this dialogue again and try to see if I can catch even more what was going on.
That would confirm my father's suspicions you were a Marxist. I almost wish you were here to see it. Something wrong?
No, of course not.
Good. Look around. Everybody's here for you. What could possibly compare?
So he starts to, and we cut over to, he starts to hold his arm up, and the darkness starts creeping in. It fades to black, and we see a light on a tree. We see dark again, and we hear Juliet's voice asking, "Are you real?" Or is that what happens there? I'm trying to read my notes, and Do you guys realize how odd it is to try to take notes on this show Westworld while I'm watching it? And I'm not complaining. You're like, yeah, tell me a few more, asshole. Tell me a few more of your complaints, Phil. Poor you get to hang out with some awesome folks right now, babble about an episode, have cool people calling in and babbling and talking and making donations and sharing the fun. Poor fucking me that I have to take notes. But all I mean is there's some shows where it's pretty clear what's happening. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. It's clear. But watching Westworld at some point is like trying to decode shit that you're seeing and then trying to translate that to my horrible, awful writing style. As much as I can babble, I mean, I could sit here and talk for 9 straight hours without taking a breath, probably, and have no problem with that. But if I tried to write a simple sentence out, it's a fucking mess. I can't spell. I'm pathetic. I'm a moron. I mean, in a very smart way. I'm a moron in a smart way. The world's smartest moron. So I'm wearing good, Tim. And I think I should be the new host of Reading Rainbow Stuff. Tell me. Get me, Jordy. Beam me up, Jordy. You know you want to give me the job. Okay, so he starts to hold his arm. He talks into the darkness. Whatever. Then we see Grace making him drink as he's having a fever. Okay, so we start to come in that everything he's having now is somewhat of a fever dream that because someone fed him milk of the poppy, and he's starting to remember the early days of the Tower of... No, wait, what show am I talking about? No, I'm kidding. And so we start to get the relationship build up between him and Grace, Emily, which is her name? I've heard her called both, so I might refer to her as both or just call her daughter. And then she comes back, hey Phil, don't call me daughter, my friend. I'll kind of call you daughter because you got 2 names, or I'm confused. Is it Emily or is it Grace, or is her name Emily Grace, or her nickname? I don't know. Whatever. Your mama named you Emily. I'm gonna call you Emily, so I'm gonna call her Emily. Studying for the SATs, I'm glad to keep you distracted just a little bit. I would spend my entire time in a brothel in Westworld. Johnny, I often said that in Star Trek. If I had a holodeck, I would probably be like Quark if on Star Trek and Deep Space Nine, and be using some of the darker, more fun holodeck programs. And he hallucinates the waitress is Dolores. You think him having so much control, he could have a Dolores sex doll made. I rewind all the time. Yes, Phil, you're a well-meaning idiot. Yes, taking notes is a bummer. I take screenshots just to jog my memory. Tim, I watch Westworld with no pants on, but Chris Hardwick's in my neighbor. I'm not taking chances, says Edward. VF Warlord says, it's Emily Grace. Okay, so her name is Emily Grace. So both are acceptable names. I'm going to call her. So I'm going to change it. Lala, I've been calling Maeve's daughter. I honestly have less than any clue to what the name of Maeve's daughter is. But honestly, I believe if you do bad things, you're a bad guy, and well, that's fine if you are. It depends. If you do bad things in a fictional universe that isn't real, like in a video game, does that make you a bad person? Well, maybe imaginarily. I don't know. I mean, I think there's certain avenues where it's healthy to express certain feelings that you would never express in real life. I think there's many places for that, and I think video games are definitely that. I think that's one of the cooler things that we don't explore as much this season of Westworld as we did in season 1. That the people that go in there, the humans that go to Westworld, are they really evil for doing the things they do there because they think that they're just going to a giant video game? In their minds, yeah, they're snooty assholes or whatever, but ultimately the people going there, most of them aren't thinking these as a bunch of Johnny Fives that are discovering sentience or a bunch of Datas. They're thinking them as weird NPC characters in a video game that you can kill all of them. I think the average person going in there probably views it like that. So are they innocent? And that's where Teddy and Maeve come into play with what Dolores is like, kill them all. Kill them all. Teddy's like, I don't want to kill them all. They're not all evil. You know, they're playing a game. They didn't know what they were doing. If they thought we were sentient in real life, do you think they would do the same thing? Think they would act the same way here? I don't think so. God, I got to say that like Kevin McAllister. I don't think so. So I think there's some sort of dynamic there. The first few times she was on screen, William called her Grace, but then the credits keep listing her as Emily, so Grace is her middle name. I never met a good person in Grand Theft Auto. It's revealing your darkest self. Absolutely. That's one of the things I like doing in life in a safe environment. It's fun to explore the darker sides of life sometimes with people you trust, whether it be in discussion, whether it be in fun play, whether it be in a video game, whether it be in another kind of role-playing atmosphere. It's always entertaining to explore that side of your personality to me, and in different ways, and vent that out or explore it. People are like, oh, okay. Now we know what kind of person you are, Mr. Uncle Phil's Ketchup Couch. Unsubscribe, creepy asshole. I believe in fantasy worlds, if you do bad things, well, that represents rage, and you're free to purge that if you feel it's right. And meta question. Maeve's daughter's name must be MacGuffin. I love that. That's a good one. Nah, I'm such a kid. I love that. That's a good one. He came up with a good one. I like him. He's a good guy. He's a good dude. Okay, so then we see Grace making him drink. Drink, bastard. You must drink, you fucking bastard.
When did it creep in? Tiny fleck of darkness.
Oh, Tom. Hey now. Sorry. No, I never say this on there. Hey now. Hey now.
Was it all in my head? A remnant of a dream.
Is this real?
Don't tempt me with a good time, Tom.
Are you real? Come on, Dad.
Where's my gun?
Janie's got a gun. Talk over the points.
You brought me to a rally point.
You need to get to a hospital.
Set off a flare.
So before it gets too far out from this point in time in the conversation, let me go over to, we seem to have a voicemail. And as I mentioned before, if you're listening to this leading into the season finale, even if you're listening to the audio cast and you have a question or comment, you can text or call in at 781-990-8509. And if you're in a place that's a very long distance phone call and you'd rather use Skype, you can add me on Skype at I Got Issues Man and send me a video or audio message to play on air as well. So let's go to the live motherfucking chat and play this message.
Hey, Phil. It's Nicholas, representing Naptown again. Do you think Ford's actually out of Bernard's head, or do you think the code that Bernard deleted is actually something else entirely, and Ford's still in there?
It's interesting, and I don't like talking about too much about scenes from next week during the episode because all crows are liars, all trailers are liars, and trailers and crows are best friends there. So it would be I would think no. I would think I agree with you. I don't think he deleted Ford. You can't. Presta likes to make fun of it. He's fucking hilarious with it. But it's Ford. Ford does everything. But in this situation, Ford was fucking with him, and I think he's doing exactly what he wants. He's in full control of this situation, especially with everything with Bernard. You can't bullshit the bullshit artist. You can't screw with the person that made you, and he knows every nook and cranny of Bernard, and he knows where to hide. So I think Tom himself, it's going to be a party. Steph, I knew Phil and I were best buds waiting to happen. I know as well. You can tell good people and good people connect. And all you guys in the live motherfucking chat, I do appreciate you all being here and all sharing the silliness and the fun with me. The original Westworld had Roman world and medieval world and a future world. He tried to delete him, but he forgets the back door. And all Ford needs is a little bit, because Ford is a backdoor man. I need to play some music with that. Like, it doesn't work with just me singing an awful Jim Morrison backdoor man. Oh, we got Preston and Alabama calling in a little while ago. Phil in the motherfucking chat. I'm beyond excited to see Maeve and Clementine square off in the finale. I think I know who this is. Preston, thank you so much for your amazing support. Preston's been one of our longest viewers, and I believe is the person that sent Katie a dragon puppet at some point in time. So Preston, lots of love to you, buddy. If it's a different Preston, you're awesome too, man. Thank you so much. But no, I'm pretty sure you're the same dude. So Preston, I'm beyond excited to see, or he's beyond excited to see Maeve and Clementine square off in the finale. I hope she doesn't kill her. To me, she'll always seemed more of a daughter than a prairie daughter. I'm in love with the idea of Delia and William both needing to resurrect their loved ones together. Preston in Montgomery. Thank you, Preston, for that awesome message, and lots of love to Preston. I hope you are well, and thank you again for all your coolness, dude. And if anyone else wants to get their voice in the chat or in the show, and I miss your question or comment in the live motherfucking chat, you can always call in or leave a text at 781-990-8509. So, okay, let's scroll up. There is no way for House Forrester to win. I'm not the bad guy. The game is inherently bad. Give him to Ramsey. I wanted to do anything. I'm like, kill Ramsey now. He tried to delete it. Ford is a master of penetration. A great con is the making you think it was your idea. As Fine Essence said, exactly, Tom. That is what great bullshit artists and con men do it. They always make you think it's your decision, that you're making the decision that you would make normally, that it's pushing you to that. It's sending you in many different weird directions, so you're just not expecting it. We can all learn from this. I learned it from Sawyer in the long con for our Lost reference of the night. Ding. Deep Space Nine reference. Ding. Lost reference. Ding. Okay, so we see Grace making him a drink. Drink. Rummy drink.
Of course.
How long ago?
About 10 minutes.
I know why you're here, why you don't want to leave. You're punishing yourself. You know, I ran from the pain too. For a long time, I didn't
Never
want to
run
think
from the
about what
pain.
happened because
Don't
I
run
thought I
from the
was to
pain.
blame.
I haven't got time for the pain
Not your fault.
anymore.
Do you remember on my 16th birthday, Mom gave me a jewelry box? When you opened it, little dancer spun in the center.
Okay, I wanted to hear this again.
It's not your fault.
What the fuck happened there at the end, you fucking asshole? Tell me about the jewelry box. Now.
Birthday, Mom gave me a jewelry box.
Yeah, what the fuck happened with it?
When you opened it, little dancer spun in the center.
I wonder if I'm gonna get copyright strike for the jewelry box.
She had it engraved. On the bottom, it said, "To my beautiful ballerina, Emily." Do you remember what I did with it?
It's a fake. It's a fake, Edward.
I threw it in the trash.
I love how I make jokes for like the three people that are going to get it. Edward and Tim in the live chat are going to get these jokes that I make right here. It's a fake. Good one.
I told her if she wasn't drunk all the time, she'd know that I hadn't danced in years.
Dude, JCA makes an excellent point that whether we want to get into the fact that William's a host or not, the Men in Black's a host or not, the fact that he thought he had a schizoid embolism and he thought his daughter was, or whoever this person was, a host. He got it so snuffed up in his uppagus. It was so stuck up in there that he couldn't help but spill it all out and kill her. And I wasn't sure, especially when he let her live after he killed all the other dudes. I was thinking that, okay, he's not going to kill her. But, oh, wow, dude. I honestly can't believe he did that. It's making me turn into Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan, dude. Like, it's totally non-heinous. Did I get that right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me. Oh my. Let's continue here. So we see a jewelry box, and it was engraved to Emily, the look on Ed Harris's face. And I gotta say, just in general, as I have to pause and say this, how awkward the fuck is that? If I actually talked like that on my show, it would be so awkward, especially when I talk like Crazy Man. If I just suddenly decide to do a podcast like this, it would be the William Shatner podcast. Khan, I will defeat you right now. So, Ed Harris's face is just so well done, though. His acting in this episode, he's just been exceptionally awesome all season. Him playing this desperate, sad, fucked guy that's just gone through the pile of ooze and coming through it and or being a host, however you want to view it, and playing it that with so much ambiguity to it that you don't know whether he's a host or not, but playing it so amazingly well. He understands his character so much, and I've read some reports. It was done in a story meaning to put some divisiveness between Game of Thrones and Westworld, but I'm not going to play that fucking game. I guess they all got together at the beginning of the season in a big theater with the scripts and really read and understood their characters. It shows. The attention that these people have spent really digging out and formulating their characters pays the fuck off, because I don't give a shit about the story, really, when it comes down to it. There's a lot of cool aspects of this story, a lot of cool mysteries that need to be uncovered, and you find them. But what tickles my twine in this show is the acting and the performances and the understanding of the characters and how the characters make fucking sense and make decisions that make sense to them as characters. And there's no horse shit going on. That's what I like, because great character forgives subpar story. And I'm not saying this is subpar story, but I think the story of Westworld is good, but it's really a playground for great acting and great work. Blubbity bloobity, blubbity blub. It is like being in the middle of a theater, seeing the theater and seeing these actors have a masterclass in perpetuity. Doing an impression of an old theater teacher of mine. Ed Harris will get snubbed in the Emmys because he's too good. Yes, he will. Get the fucking shine box. No one. I think they could have done with the mom more to let her to let us see that she needed to be committed. I think they wanted to leave that vague, though, just to make us staff have to ask the question if she really was sick or she was driven to this by or pushed into it by the way that the Man in Black was acting, or because at some point in time he was replaced by a host version of himself that had no emotions and she was dealing with a lack of a real person, so it made her go reach a breaking point. She has a sip of champagne and they're like, lock her up. She's crazy. You thought Clementine was hot, but then you learned she could start orgies with a wave of a hand. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. I said, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Okay, I'm going to stop there. One thing that kind of pissed me off is if you had a friend or a family member with a substance abuse problem, they are way worse. They're way worse than that mom acted. 1,000 times worse than that mom acted. And you forgive it, too. You don't run to that, I'm going to put them away. It takes a lot more till usually when you get to that point. I've taken a lot. Craziest episode 1 after a fucking another broke. What the flying fuck burger happened? 2, put your junk in that box. Step 1, put your dick in the box. Step 2, put a junk in the box. That was the moment. That was probably the funniest thing in the world Justin Timberlake ever did. Broke Black Man 94. Great to see you. Speaking of underappreciated acting, let's discuss Dorne. Dude, you wanted the good acting, but you needed a bad pussy there, Edward. That's what you needed. Should I do the pop in? Should I do the pop into the let's see what I look over here. I don't want to pop in too much here, but let me see. Speaking of underappreciated, yeah, William sure did push her to the edge that she killed herself, seeing all of his otherworld debauchery. And that really was the final point. I think even more than seeing it was the speech that he gave to her later on. I think that even if he isn't a host, let's forget all that aspect of it, because I think that's still, like I said, before I was 0%, I am like 53% there too. But besides all of that, hearing how important and how his only truth is this darkness is enough to kind of drive you to that point as well, if you're on that level anyway. Mm-hmm. She's watching his homemade prawn. I'm gonna. I hear that as porn. You don't have to spell it right for me to know porn.
And then afterwards, I went to get it back because I felt bad, but the trash had already been emptied and it was gone.
I agree. I must admit, Bernie the Burnt, I don't want to pinpoint that, but I was hard on the little girl when she brought me out of it. There were a couple of moments where the actress that they cast to play the Men in Black's actress, I felt like she was doing a little bit of soap opera kind of actiness, and then she was a little bit not locked in on character. I think half of being a good actor is the concentration to not break it and to be locked in on what you're trying to do. There's a few moments, especially in the party scene, where I felt like she was almost smiling in her character and didn't quite have it locked down. And it took me out of it a little bit. For a show that's very well acted, the moments that you have a few moments of not excellency, it kind of shows it's very obviously. And I can't lie, I too had kind of that feeling. I had in my notes a couple of times that I don't love this actress. There's a couple of other actresses that would have been better in that part. Even though they already used her, the actress that played Teresa in season 1 would have been better. Hey, we got Laura D in the motherfucking chat. Laura D! We also got Ahmed E in the live motherfucking chat. William's wife is dumb. Why can't she just get a divorce or an affair like a normal trophy wife? Couldn't loved it more, says Tom himself. Well, I kept asking Teddy, just kill yourself, and he did. I think because everyone is so good that she's stuck out. She's not an actual actress. She was a stock photo girl who was brought in to do an actual acting. Ahmed E., thank you for that information. And I think that makes a little bit of sense because I think she showed not to be as talent. When you have a show where you have Anthony Hopkins and Thandie Newton and Evan Rachel Wood and frickin' James Marsden, and I'm blanking on the actor that plays Bernard, but he is sick too. That dude is sick. You have all these crazy actors throwing their acting cock and balls and labias on the fucking table, being like, I'm amazing. Eat this, assholes. It's just so damn good that when you have a few actors that don't quite match the same level, it does show. And I did notice that she didn't quite match the same level of acting as some of the other people. But whatever. Bernie says fake news. Not true. I think because everyone's so good. I thought Teddy was good to shoot them. Phil remake of Heart Shaped Box was the masterpiece last. Phil, the issues guy. Something probably dumb is bothering me about this episode. Why was the camera stir focusing on William's hands certain times? I think that was... Personally, I took that as a way to add to the ambiguity of whether he's a host or not, where he was looking in his forearm for some proof of being a host, looking for some sign or whatever. At least that's what I focused. At least that's how I took it. That was him searching for that. Seal World is normally good. I don't know what was up with her tonight. Sealer Ward is normally good. I don't know what was up with her tonight. Okay, so Phil's like, fake news. She's an actual actress. Steph's like, Phil, don't report bullshit. She reminds me of the homepage for a Meet a Cougar's dating site, Kegger says. I don't know my BFF, Phil 730. See, usually I would just say I don't know, but your name is so awesome I have to try to say it all the time. No. Stella Ward is not the girl in the photo. His wife as young William was. She is an actress, everybody. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry for reporting bullshit. I'm sorry. 1,000 times. 1,000 times I'm sorry. No. But yeah, I have seen her before too. Now that I said that, I've seen her before. But she did not click. I think she was good when she was towards the back half of the episode when she was freaking out with the daughter and the Men in Black when they said they were going to commit her. I thought she did really well with there. I think her eyes do an excellent job acting with seeing everything. I just think some of her banter could use some work. And I don't think she had good chemistry with Ed Harris. Just from an actor-actress standpoint, I feel like the two of them kind of clashed a little bit and didn't quite connect in a way that felt natural in a scene. They didn't really have a good tennis match going on. But, oh yeah, she was in The Fugitive. If they ever make a Simpsons world, we need Phil to play Otto the bus driver. I'm in. Bus driver, dude. She's beautiful, but she needs to stay on ABC. I could totally do an Otto. I'm in. I'm not delusional. Hey, dude. What's up? I mean, that's my only chance is if The Walking David ends up making movies and he writes a stoner character that I can get in a movie. You know, that's my only hope. Hey, dude. Totally. I must be blind because I can't spot bad acting, just bad plot. That's not something to be upset about, Broke. I guess she came in from one episode. We can make excuses for her. Okay. But it wasn't enough to take me out of the episode. It's just when you deal with so much amazingness going around you, it stands out a little bit at times. So, Phil, you'd rather think you could survive being shot so many times because you know it's TV than just admit your favorite character is just another fucking host. Oh, he's a host. I know. I'm like I said, I'm 53% sure he's a host. Before tonight's episode, I was 0. So we see. Okay, so fade up to Dolores and her gang heading through the amazing countryside, flanked by Teddy and Ghost Nation. I was gonna say C Nation. It's like, listen, the valley's not for you. You go no further. Doris is like, no, dude. And they get into a whole thing.
No. It was meant for the people who built this place. A tool to ensure their immortality. But I'm gonna use it against them.
Oblaya isamki, wowinya yapishni. Tiopa ki makoche, lechaya yuhanki. Na makoche lechaya ki we ostekeshni.
Your new world is just another one of their traps. That's all. It's not a paradise for us. The only real world is the one outside these borders. And the key to our survival in that world lies in the valley. There's no stopping me getting there, not even you.
Steph Snow, thank you so much for popping on in here, and thank you so much for that super chat donation. You have no clue how much those donations mean and keep us being able to do this. And by us, I mean the multiple personalities in my mind. But huge thanks to Steph Snow for being awesome as always.
Teddy.
Next. So Dolores is like, fuck no, and she goes into her speech to try to rally everyone to the same side. Ghost Nation says the valley is not a tool and it can be untouched by blood. And she says it's not a paradise. It's only real world outside is the only real that matters. And you're not stopping me from getting out there. No one's going to stop me. There's an action scene with the Dolores crew and Ghost Nation. Teddy's killing them all. Teddy is a fucking killing machine. And Dolores is there for one big kill at the end. And then it gets to this point. You're sweet, Laura.
I told you, friend. Not all of us deserve to make it to the valley beyond.
Bernie the Burnt says, yo, that Ghost Nation, we had Maeve power. He made Teddy kill himself. Did he? What he did to poor Teddy. Teddy was in the lake too. And that, Ian was saying this earlier, there's no dead here. I mean, with these hosts, as long as the main mainframe is not destroyed finally, Teddy might be back. So Teddy does end up in the water eventually. We do know that. I'm surprised that Dolores had to say something to Teddy. I was waiting for him to start shooting on his own. Let's listen to a little bit.
We're on our own now, Teddy. Make sure there are no others.
Okay. So let's continue. Let's continue. I don't want to continue. I don't want to fucking continue. I am fucking freaking out here. This is an amazing episode. I am loving life right now. Okay, so Teddy looks back and no one else is alive, and he seems to be coming back. Huge flare from the sun. I love how the sun works here. And it's just like the sweat in my eyes right now and blinds me. The Ghost Nation guy's walking away, and Teddy doesn't shoot him. So cut to the trippy fucking hallways. Holy shit. I thought I was having an acid flashback as we see the weird hallways, and Bernard's back. Jeffrey Wright, just, oh, god damn it. Bernard is such an amazing fucking character as the aggressive Bernard music kicks in.
I want to see how thorough this thing is.
And we also see Charlotte and her little Kyburn there working with Clementine and setting this all up so Clementine can do the Maeve thing and control other hosts. So listen to a little bit of this. See, right when I stop talking, we just get music. I don't want to play music. I want to play dialogue, but I just have to babble a little bit, so here we go.
I singled out and copied the relevant lines in the madam's code.
So this will work on any host in proximity to her.
Yeah, I tailored her admin privileges to spread a simple executable payload.
Get on with it then.
Yep, that is the video we saw in episode 1. And yes, Tom, that's exactly what I was saying. The lighting in the scene was just amazing. On the scene before with the flare from the sun and interacting with Teddy as he starts to awake and see the light. Really cool shit right there. It was almost as if Ghost Nation Warrior used powers like Maeve on Teddy to not shoot him. And we do know that he is as far down that line mentally and into the sentience, into control of what's going on in his world to maybe even get to that point. So I wouldn't be surprised. JCA. Awesome stuff. We got a text message from Preston. I'm totally the same dude. Okay, Austin Preston. I thought you were. I thought I was right. Occasionally I'm right. Preston, thanks for being fucking awesome, and thank you to all you guys. Wow. Huge amazingness. We've got, holy crap. We've got lots of folks in the live chat tonight to talk about this episode. You guys are sick, as always. Dirty sick. Anyone who has any sort of admin powers on the internet loved this scene with on a whole different level. Bernard, are you jacking on in there? Anyone who has any sort of... That was not Keisha that escaped. No, it was the other guy. It was his number one. So let's listen to more of this. We see ultimately Clementine uses her evil powers to destroy and kill a bunch of people, and it just turns into this sick, weird orgy with people biting each other and shit. No, it's like a death orgy. What am I drinking tonight? I've been drinking the same thing the last couple of times that I've been doing podcasts. It's Ommegang Nomageddon Blonde Ale. I like it because it's 9.5% alcohol, and it's cheap. $6 for this. $6 for a pint of 9.5% alcohol. So I drink the one pint, and I'm as drunk as I want to be. So it's perfect. I'm an Gang slut, Tom. Lala says, Bernard and the Men in Black put on great performances this episode. So dumb with Charlotte. That bitch gotta go. Lala. Kathy, when hosts get conflicting information, their right hand twitches. A simple handshake could give them away. I would love to know that information at a poker table with someone, Kathy. And just be like, damn, motherfucker, I'm gonna get you assholes. Whoa. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Whoa. Hi, I'm even closer. Hi. Welcome back to my show. Well, let's go back over here. So we got Broke Black Man 94. Can't wait to watch his reaction to this episode. If you haven't already and you want to check out more content for Westworld this week, make sure you subscribe to Broke Black Man 94 is in the chat. You can just click on his name and it will take you to his channel right now. And subscribe. If you're in the live chat right now, why not do it? He does reactions for so many different shows, and he's a really awesome dude, so check him out. I hope I'm making him feel significantly uncomfortable right now by promoting him. But I'm doing it. Gang made in New York Hollow. Gang is what made me become a beer fan from shitty beer to drinking better beer because of the Game of Thrones beers. It was an excuse to stop drinking like just shit, like the cheapest beer I could find. So I'm a little bit of an Gang slut. Dude, something like Ripple. Men in Black might right hand twitches. I'm drinking $9 Cabernet only because it's called 19 Crimes. Cheers, mate. Oh, I didn't know that. BBM, I'll check it out. They stopped promoting me. Damn, talk about your Patreon. Oh, yeah. I got a Patreon, and there's some extra content there that you don't get to see other places. And I put up some posts and put up a monthly podcast, and I have some more Con of Thrones panels there if people want to see that shit. So, well, if you want to subscribe. Hong Kong. There you go. You happy, Broke? I promoted my Patreon. There you go. So it's always on the screen. See it right? See it's right there. I'm always promoting it. So Teddy's right hand twitches. Host James Dellis's right hand twitches. I haven't watched the episode. We got Carmine from Red Team Review in the live motherfucking chat. Great to see Carmine. 1 to 10 scale for Westworld based around just the Westworld show. I would say it's in the upper echelon. I would say for me, it was a 8.5 to the 9 range. It was one of the better episodes of the season. Not necessarily my favorite, but it was definitely towards the upper echelon. It was a shit happening kind of episode where you get a lot of crap information about the Men in Black's backstory, and you also get a little bit more conclusive action happening with the Dolores and the Teddy storyline and all of that shit. It answers a lot of questions and confirms a couple of harebrained theories, and it leads things really interestingly into the final episode. So if you're digging this season right now, Carmine, I would absolutely say this is probably going to be a good episode for you. That being said, if you don't, I want to hear you tell me, Phil, you're an asshole. This episode sucked. You hyped it up too much. You're a dickhead. 8 or 9 for an episode 9. Yeah, I would say, but I'm a low grader because also you haven't seen it yet, so I don't want to hype it up too much for you. When Carmine goes, I might say it was a fucking 10. It was a fucking 10. Don't tell Carmine. It was fucking amazing. But it was definitely one of the better episodes of the season. I would say a 9. Episode 9 was not my cup of tea, so hopefully this is good. But then I think this is going to be more your cup of tea. This feels more like episode 4 rather than last week's episode, which was more of a take a bath in a certain storyline. We get a little bit of a bath in this episode, but we also get more progression of the storyline. So I think you're gonna like it, and I don't want to hype it up or downgrade it too much for you, Carmine. But if you're enjoying the season so much so far, then you're probably going to enjoy it. And also, if you I was going to invite you on, but if you haven't watched it yet, I can't do that. But lots of love to Carmine, Red Team Review in the live on the fucking chat. Definitely subscribe to him too. Come on, Tom. They showed toes. You know you really want to give it a 10. 7 being very good. 8 being great. I'm going with 7.9. Good night, Lala. Thank you so much. Will you be doing Lord of the Rings when it comes to Amazon? Laura asks. Abso-fucking-lutely. Sweet Phil, I'm going to download it. Watch it legally now. Phil will collab soon. Hopefully. Night, guys. Absolutely. Can't wait to get to do something with Carmine again in the future. It's coming, motherfuckers. So the Ghost Nation guy escapes, shows Teddy, shows mercy. So despite Dolores' changes, Teddy is still the old virtuous Teddy. That's why he rebelled against Dolores. And he remembered, he understood, he kind of recaptured everything that was unique and interesting about Teddy. And I like that we got that. I like so much that there was progression with the Teddy character, and he just didn't end up dying or being stopped essentially as just a puppet for Dolores. Hey, Jenny, great to see you. Episode gets better the more you unpack it. It really does, because there's just so much there, and we're still early on. So let me pick up the pace a little bit. So we cut to Trippy Hallway, Bernard in his aggressive music. Then we see Charlotte Hale, Clementine setting up with a whole huge thing. Bernard is like, fuck no. Hale is like this.
Get word to Stubbs. Have him mobilize his men. Prepare her for release.
What about the madam?
If this works, we won't need her anymore.
I warned you not to trust them, Bernard.
And then it's Ford time. Let's listen to a little Ford.
I warned you not to trust them, Bernard. They'd rather the hosts were destroyed than free.
I need to get to Elsie.
Not yet.
Kathy Collins, thank you so much for checking out the live stream. We really do appreciate everyone in the live motherfucking chat welcomes you, and I hope we get to see your face again in the live chat. But thank you so much for checking this out. And anyone I know, understand the live streams are long. We're like 2 hours. We hope you check it out again in the morning if you don't get through it all. But we do appreciate anyone that even checks in for 2 seconds. Thank you so much as we pack through this episode. Have a good night. Pleasure to meet all of you. Good night. Wow, no porn or weed makes you say 10 out of 10. So Bernard's like, fuck. And Ford.
I have one last thing to do before we go.
So then we cut over to Grace working on the Men in Black.
Did you find me?
What do you mean?
This is a big place. You spend months here and never find someone you were looking for. Yet, here we are.
I looked everywhere. That's how. You don't believe me, do you? Maybe it was fate.
No such thing as fate.
But there are accidents, things you can't control. But you don't like that, do you? Is that why you started it, your little project? Don't act surprised. The project Uncle Logan used to talk about. It's real, isn't it?
I love that we get a lot of references to Logan, and it looks like in the preview for next week that Logan is going to be a big part of the episode. At least it seems like that, so I like that Logan's character isn't dying. I enjoy the actor's performance, and he's a missing cog to the William is a host thing.
For immortality, for life. There's always an angle with you. You want it to be about control, don't you?
There's nothing to do with control. What's your angle?
I want in.
She wants fucking in? No, she doesn't want in. There seems to be an agenda going on, and I like the Men in Black just does not trust her, and you can see it from the very beginning. He thinks this is all part of Ford's plan. He is so obsessed with this. Whether he's a host or whether he's not, he is stuck on the whole thing that this is all part of Ford's plan. Back to the Men in Black at the party, walking in, doing his bullshitting thing.
I have my fill. I'm running for the door.
she's really great. Guess you're not the one who needs saving. We'll take Mom home. You deserve a night off.
No. We'll go in a little while. You join me for a nightcap back home.
Okay. Proud of you.
So then we see him walking down, and suddenly it gets very interesting as he walks down a hallway, orders a drink, and it's Mr. Ford at the bar. So before that, should we do a little jump in? Should we jump in? Let's jump into the conversation. Let's jump in the conversation over here.
I believe it's her arms and hands are the hands of his wife. So it's a mixture of two people being depicted as well as here. But this is about this woman that her legs are, not working for it, and she just wants nothing but to get home. So I think that, it fits in with the narrative as well that he's kind of got to chop her legs off. He needed her to be a monster for a while, but now he's got to shut that monster down. Because, are we just going to go with they're screwing the Ghost Nation?
I still feel that everyone's a pawn. I still feel that every single person is a pawn. It may be legitimately that Akecheta came to consciousness naturally and was or was not protected by Ford in some kind of way to avoid detection. But afterwards, after they had that interaction, he was 100% influenced and used Ghost Nation, whether Akecheta knew about it or not. The fact that Stubbs was protected by Ghost Nation after Ford kind of looks directly at him and says, hey, we can automate some of the security features of the park. Next time we see Stubbs, he's protected from the, Terminator Dolores going off in the bunker or in the town. Ford's influence.
I'm sorry. We have a special guest.
Oh no, I didn't want to interrupt you guys. I was enjoying listening and learning and hanging out and listen to all these guys. I just wanted to, hey.
You were learning?
I was learning.
I
learned. I was drinking and learning. I drink and I learn things. But I just wanted to pop in and say hi to you guys and show you guys some love and say what a bloody awesome episode. It was a great episode.
What an awesome episode, man.
Everybody's changing their tone. I didn't care for it as much, but hey, that's me.
See, what I like.
I'm here for people to disagree with. Phil, if you guys aren't familiar, go subscribe to his channel, and then I'll let you continue. Phil is my inspiration for live streaming.
No, stop with that. Did you ever
it's
know that you're
I
my
kiss your ass
hero?
You entertain, my friend.
Okay.
You just don't look at a camera and spit facts. You don't sit there and just give a synopsis. You give some.
Do you know why? Do you know why I do that? Because I don't actually know any facts. So, but I do appreciate that.
The beauty of it. Don't tell anybody.
No. But this is what I liked about this episode. I like that this show keeps giving you answers while asking more questions. And even if you don't necessarily always like the means in which it brings it to you, it's constantly cycling that through, so it never gets too stagnant with the information it gives you. And I like that we got the backstory of the Men in Black. I didn't love the wife's acting in it, but I like a lot of that, and I enjoy the aspect of the progression of the Teddy story doing something that it took a lot longer for Jamie Lannister to do, so I appreciate that. But I don't know. I don't want to bother and interrupt you guys' flow too much. I just wanted to stop in, and we did a little crossover earlier in the season, and I wanted to make sure I popped in one more time and send you guys some love, and can't wait. I can't believe next week's episode is the finale, and
that's it, dude.
Hopefully, Justin, it will give you what you want next week. But did you like last week's episode better? Was that more your speed? Like more of a?
Oh, much better. Because I'm a firm believer in that goes along with the theme. It's all fun to keep having people be chess pieces. But if you don't start establishing antagonists in people's true motivations to a point, if you keep just, oh no, that was all bullshit about Ghost Nation. No, see, that just, it goes not have all day. And if we just keep taking it away to make sense of one episode at a time, that you're only looking 2 feet ahead.
No, very
not for the long game. So yes, I didn't. But obviously I'm here. I got a car accident. yesterday. I'm talking about it. I'm just saying,
Justin,
I'm not hard wicking anything, especially now. You know, you don't do that.
No, and
Justin, we're having some distortion. Phil, yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, man. It's awesome. And what did you think of this episode?
No, I enjoyed it. This is more the type of speed I liked last episode. And I think the texture and the world building of last week's episode in the last couple of episodes really makes payoff episodes like this even better. Justin, I hope you're all right from a car accident, but I love getting the more. I just think Ed Harris's performance in this episode is so spectacular to show all those emotions and also all the frustration. Hax, do you view this as the Men in Black being a host? Do you get that information? Or do you think maybe he's using a host version of himself in the real world and he's keeping his real self in Westworld? What's your take on all of that before I let you guys go?
That's pretty interesting, man.
No, I don't.
Okay.
If you guys can hear me, the host decision.
One second, just 1 second. So for me, it's no, he can't be a host. So the reader on the back of the neck kind of goes to that, but the fact that Emily wasn't shown and her results weren't shown maybe leads to her being a host, and it's not shown that he feels for a pulse or anything like that, but I really think that the fact that we didn't see the results of that scan says something.
Yeah.
And I think that for her character to die in the way that she did it was very impactful, but it was very soon. And the idea that she has more to give and more to contribute and more to dish out to her own father, I think still exists. So
yeah.
I think that he is probably human, and what he's doing to his arm is like, the mental, the mind trying to come to terms with itself. Hey, am I a host? Am I being programmed to believe that I'm a human?
He's really confused. Ultimately, is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
He is so confused with his journey.
He's like, what have I done? I've blended the lines. I don't even know if I can trust anything in the real world anymore, and it's all my fault.
Do you think Hax? By the way, hello, Phil. I don't think we've ever spoken.
No,
before.
we haven't. It's very, very good to meet you. And I'm going to step out pretty soon, but I'll stick around for a little bit. But it's definitely awesome to meet you as well. And thank you guys for having me. And thank you to Justin for being awesome. And thank you to everyone in the live chat on both sides that are watching this silliness.
Yeah. What I was going to say.
Thank you, and thank you everybody who's watching.
Yeah, definitely. What I was going to say, Hax, is about Emily being a host or not. It made me think. I was thinking she was, but I was still shook because it did look like she had like a little bump on her arm or something when he rolled her sleeve up. But I don't know. There'll be screenshots all over the internet of that, I'm sure, tomorrow, or actually right now. But maybe it made me think of your kind of third party theory, and that she wasn't from Ford. He was right that she was a host, but she was sent by like Hale or something, like a third party to try to get that, maybe get information from him, or maybe they thought he had a key or something of that nature. So that was just an idea that I had.
So I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, I mean, very cool.
I'm always down for a good third party.
Okay, my friends. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great rest of your show, and lots of love for the series finale next week. Talk to you guys soon.
Hear me,
Phil. Peace out, brother. Thank you.
Good to see all of those guys. I'll get back to the silliness. Definitely check all of them out. Lots of great Westworld coverage out there. Wanted to do one of those weird crossovers. Sorry for any technical difficulties that might have happened while that was going on. So let's continue down here. In my opinion, they were pretty much implying that Emily was not a host. I tend to agree with that. I didn't want to get into a whole thing. I don't think Emily is a host at all. I think that's an interesting perspective that person had, but I don't necessarily agree with that. Never go with hippies to a second location. Why would she have the key chip her mother left in a jewelry box? I think the whole point, I think no, I don't think so, but anyways, let's continue here. So we see him walking down a hallway, and he orders a drink, and Ford's there at the bar. And let's listen to these two.
Fuck it. McAllen. Straight.
Congratulations, William. Philanthropy suits you.
And yes, Justin was a host. He was having some
humble
technical
beginnings
difficulties.
What's
Specific-
Oz doing without its wizard?
Ooh, I merely came to pay my respects.
I love Anthony Hopkins must have had a few real drinks because he definitely sounds really drunk here.
Robert, you've had plenty of feelings about me over the years. Respect isn't one of them.
You've achieved extraordinary things. Ask anyone in this room. Even those who do know about your little project.
We have an agreement, Robert. Delos stays out of your stories. You stay out of the valley.
I didn't break the agreement. Your project did.
What the hell are you talking about?
When was the last time you took a good look at your creation and what it's been learning about its subjects? It was self-knowledge that drew you to the park in the first place.
He sounds so drunk.
Be careful what you wish for. For a self-portrait, you may find it's not very flattering.
So he slides him a key and he says, and ultimately William says no more games and Ford says no, William.
No, William. I think perhaps one final game.
So we go off to Bernard, who lights flashing as Maeve's music comes in as he opens the room and he's in there. And his access is denied and he tries to get in. Ford says stop. Maeve will be able to read his message from there.
That's close enough, Bernard. She will search your mind and find a message I have left her.
So he sends her a message that we see later in the episode. And then we go over to our favorite swearing person, Elsie. I fucking love Elsie. I love that she's back. I love the actress. I loved her in Raising Hope. I talk about Raising Hope a lot. I don't give a fuck. It's a great fucking sitcom. And she's awesome on it. She's cute. She's funny. She's quirky. She's a good little actress, and I hope she gets more work after this show too. And I'm glad to just see her again after Raising Hope, which is one of those things where I thought maybe she'd just be a one and done, but getting to see her on Westworld as well. And her hair still looks good. Elsie.
Sorry. Are you ready to go?
Hey.
And how cool is Bernard's voice? I'm sorry, I know it seems trivial, but Bernard needs to do some video game character voiceover stuff because he's just got such a cool little growl to his voice. Listen to this shit.
Are you ready to go?
Are you ready to go?
If you know something, now is the time to fucking clue me in, okay?
And it's what I like about Elsie's character is almost like she's directed to swear more. Like she would be excellent to say motherfucking chat. Like, I got to find her at a convention somewhere and try to get her to do one of those things. Live from the motherfucking chat. That needs to happen.
Are you ready to go?
Hey, if you know something, now is the time to fucking clue me in, okay? You promised me.
Motherfucking chat.
No lies. No secrets.
You can't trust her, Bernard. It's in her nature.
What did you find in the cradle?
What they're doing to James Delos. They're doing to everyone who's ever visited the park.
Replicating their cognition? Why? To turn guests into hosts?
No.
You're fucking kidding.
I'm not fucking kidding.
That's what's in the facility.
Are you fucking kidding?
All the guests laid bare in code.
I'm not fucking kidding. Are you fucking kidding? What the fucking? Are you fucking kidding? Fuck. Fuckity fuckity fuck 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 fuckity 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 fuck 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 fuck. Maybe you don't understand. You see, turning these pages, at the end of the book, there's a monster at the end of this story. Our monster. Phil, if you know something, now's the time to fucking clue me in, says Jenny. Elsie sounds like a cow's name. So Phil, explain to non-nerds what the Forge is again. So I think what the Forge is the ultimate hard drive of all the narratives in the host's information. So it symbolizes the final backup for all the hosts. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me in the chat, tell me in the comment section, but I think that is what the Forge is. No one? Oh, no. She's right up there with Samuel L. Jackson. I agree, Laura D. This girl, I don't know the actress's name, so I'm sorry, but she swears excellently. And I think that's a talent that doesn't often get said. Some people can say fuck and make it sound funny. I don't like to think I'm one of them. I just say it and I don't give a fuck. But some people can say the word fuck and make it sound funnier than other people. And Elsie's one of them. She's awesome at it. Elsie sounds like a cow. No, like a literal cow. I'm not body shaming. No, I know what you mean. You mean it just sounds like a name you would name a cow. You're not calling Elsie a cow. You're saying that Elsie sounds like a name that you would name a cow. No, I get you. The Forge is a giant cradle for humans and hosts. Okay, Rich, explain even more. Get even more in depth if you can. The Forge is a giant cradle for humans and hosts. So is the Forge... Okay, this is where I'm not sure. Is the Forge where the hosts' backups are all finally stored, and also where Delos has all their information about all the human guests? So is it everything? Is the Forge just the complete information center? That's what I want to know. Tell me. No one says motherfucker better than Samuel L. Jackson. I agree, Laura. Samuel L. Jackson, if I could get anyone to say motherfucking chat to play at the beginning of my show every week, it would be getting Samuel L. Jackson to do it. That's the dream, really. You never heard me. I could throw down with the best of them. Forge to form or to make, especially a conceited effort. I was waiting for him to drop the F-bomb in Incredibles 2. I never got it. Yeah, Elsie was hot in Raising Hope. Raising Hope is a great show. Underrated sitcom if people haven't watched it. Great cast. Martha Plimpkin, Garrett Dillahunt, Elsie, Cloris Leachman, the kid that plays the main actor. That's a nobody, but he's funny. Lots of great stuff on that show. From just a comedic half-an-hour comedy standpoint, Raising Hope is high on my list of funny shows.
Server, like the cradle, only much bigger. It's called the Forge.
Jesus.
That's where the hosts are headed. Imagine what one host can do with that trove of information. That's why we need to get there first. To secure it and leverage it to end all this. Dictate the outcomes we want.
Drive.
So, back in the Men in Black and Emily storyline, Men in Black and her talk about Data. And I'm not talking about Data like Dr. Sung. He's a mighty big genius. He built a dude Data with an android penis. He fucked that girl Tasha, the Borg Queen, too. You better watch out. He's gonna fuck you, too, because he's Data. Superhero Data. Not that kind of Data. They're talking about just regular Data.
You say you want in. Doesn't sound like the daughter I know. She would have been appalled by what we were doing. Monitoring the guests, storing all their data.
What? You think I'm gonna bust you for breach of contract? In some cases, the ends justify the means. All this data you have on the guests,
Superhero.
their decisions, it's precious. Gives people a second chance. Even Mom. But to duplicate a person, you need to capture them down to the tiniest detail. I get the data you have access to here. Genetic, epigenetic, that's easy. But still, you'd need a complete...
What? What's that? What's that? What's that? Oh no. This hero named Data you can't comprehend. He's got logic like a Vulcan but the strength of 10 men. He solved the ship's problems with the greatest of ease. All crew members bow at your knees for Dr. Song's mighty creation. He built a dude Data in an android station. He did that girl Tasha the Borg Queen too. You better watch out. He said he's coming for you. Okay, so back in the Men in Black in Emily, and they keep talking about Data. Data.
They thought they were. We saw underneath all that. We saw inside them down to the core. So this is all about your mother. You want to bring her back?
No. I want to know why she did it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So they put scanners in the brain to get, or they put scanners in the hats, and that's how they get the information. They talk more about Mom and whether is this because you want to bring her back, and no, she wants to know why she killed herself. So then we get a flashback to the Men in Black's alone with his wife. So let's play a little bit of this.
What a night for you, Billy. I think my dad would have actually been proud of you. Oh. Sorry, I know how you hate it.
Do you agree with the ends justified the means? Elaborate on cloning dead ex-wives. It's a tough thing, dude. It really is. I often think about that stuff, especially with my dog, surprisingly. Like, I love my dog. I don't want another dog. I want to clone my dog and keep my dog going over and over again. It's tough because that's a more serious podcast matter, and I know people have asked me to do like more of a serious podcast on loss and death and all that sort of shit, and I could definitely do that and make it fun too, but that's beside the point. So it's a definite crazy question and an interesting thing to think about bringing people back. I think people would be lying if they wouldn't be saying that everyone would entertain the thought if it was possible. There's somebody in their life, or many people in their life, that you'd love to see or talk to again. But is that selfish? What is it? You know, are those people the recreations? If you clone someone, would they actually be the same person, or would they be a different person? And it's not fair to project all your emotions that you had about the other person onto that person. Cloning and replication through machines and all that sort of shit. That's a big matzo ball hanging over my ass right there. So I think I could do a whole show on that kind of stuff. So Tom, you're treading on a good question. Space, the final frontier. No. You're treading on some good shit. But I don't want to go there. You guys don't want to hear me go all hippie, trippy, slippy. Dude. People trying to get rid of their wives, not clone them. Hey, Phil, do you agree? I want to clone everybody. I want to clone exes. I want to clone wives. I want to clone other people. I'm pro cloning, okay? I'm pro anything that keeps me living. Okay, can I clone myself and put my body, like this cloning myself, put my consciousness in another? Like, I'm not against this. I could do, with the James Delos thing, think about it. If I could get that, I could do these like 20-minute podcasts before my mind exploded. And if you kept replicating me, I could keep doing 20-minute podcasts forever. I mean, I'm all aboard. Choo choo. Chugga chugga, motherfucker. Get me on this, motherfucker. I'm ready. Oh, I'm hippie trippy stuff. So he eventually puts his bed to wife. Puts his wife to bed. And we get this, are you real? Are you real?
Is this real?
Am I real?
Are you real?
What's real?
Did you ever love me?
I did. I love how he doesn't answer.
Tell me one true thing.
This is one of those things I feel bad about. You know? Like, I think we all can question ourselves in existence of how often we give other people, even the people we love the most, how often do we fucking give ourselves real you?
If you keep pretending, you're not going to remember who you are.
I wouldn't mind getting cloned either, as long as they make me look a little bit more like Angela. Only if you give me a fidelity button. We already live in on other people over and over again. That's what some people believe. When you live in the moment, what's the difference if you're a clone or not? Some really cool shit going on in the live chat right now. Laura D says, a little close to the edge. That could be a subtitle for my podcast, Laura. The Issues Guy, a little close to the edge. Oh no, play. Play, damn you. Keep playing. Keep playing.
Come on, you for better.
Holy shit, thank you so much. We just got a PayPal donation for $10. Thank you so much to Mike T for that PayPal donation of $10. Thank you so much. He said can't do super chat, so here you go here on PayPal. Thank you so much, and thank you to all of our super chat donators as well tonight. As I say, it means more than you know, and it keeps us being able to keep doing this show, to be able to keep at least perpetuate paying all the cable bills and computer bills and upgrade equipment bills and stuff. So I do appreciate that, and all of our patrons that support us month to month. You guys mean an amazing amount. Yeah, make Angela the lowest allowable clone. What did the Men in Black do that was so bad to make his wife kill herself? My thing with that is she probably was sick and had a and was predestined to that. Felt like she never connected to him, whether he is a host or not, and felt like he was never being himself. Let alone have your daughter and your husband that you don't love wanting to lock you up again. She wasn't thinking rationally, and seeing all of that information about William in the moment drove her over the edge to make that unfortunate decision. Is how I view her process, essentially. And I don't think she was rational. And I think maybe if she was in a loving, nurturing environment, she probably could have been okay. But because she's in this situation with this person that's so fucked up, it enhanced all those bad points, and the daughter also didn't help as well. So I think it's a perfect marriage of a lot of fucking bullshit. I don't think it's all on William alone, but he certainly didn't help the situation. He loved, because sometimes, Tom, you feel so hopeless and stuck in situations, you don't always think clearly, and fucking mental illness is real and fucked up. And when it fucking gets you, you can't control that. It's so over encompassing. And I think it wasn't all on William. She was also has something going on that was needing to some sort of delusional behavior, and it mixed with William being the kind of person he was a perfect marriage of bullshit. And her whole family dying and not having any support structure outside of William being a duplicitous fuck and someone who's so fake around her, or a android version of himself. However you want to view this, it's a big minefield that drove her to this point. I'm sorry, Phil, but I need more backstory. Just blaming on being drunk, I ain't buying it. I think she was 100% sure if the Men in Black was really what Logan's culture confirmed, especially with the drinking and shit, but she saw everything. I think the Men in Black killed her. She didn't kill herself. I don't believe it. Depressed, drunk, and teamed up on by loved ones. Can't leave someone alone like that. K-Rich, I tend to go with what K-Rich, depression is a fucking real fucking thing that I think she had, and having that mixed with delusions, having her family be destroyed with her dad gone and her brother gone, her daughter turning against her, and her husband being a fucking psycho in her mind that doesn't a psycho duplicitous asshole that doesn't tell her the truth, she saw no out and couldn't imagine spending time in a hospital again. She was on to him and didn't want to get exposed, so he killed her. So let's continue with this episode and keep the thoughts coming in the live chat. And I love hearing everyone's perspective on this. He loves a robot and didn't love her. That's why, says Jenny. I think there's some truth to that. So we flash to the men and back. Okay, so then he tells her he puts her to the bed. He reaches in his pocket and he gets out that little key and he hides it. And he's still talking to her wife.
What happened was nobody's fault.
And he asks the question, Manishtana Halila Hazah, why is this night different than others?
She was drunk, upset.
She often was. Why did this night end differently? That's what I can't figure out.
Why is this night different than others?
Been over it in my head a million times. It's just like I'm missing a piece of the puzzle.
Exactly, Dennis. Yeah, Dennis, I'm going to read Dennis's comment in a second here. Dennis puts it as clear as he could. Plus the threat of her freedom being taken away, she said she would not go back to that prison. And she was willing to take any step. She had no love. She felt no love from her family. She was in a no-win. She felt like she was in a no-win position. And sometimes fucking mental mindfuck crap. The mental mindfuck crap can fuck you and you just don't see outside that. You don't see a divorce. You don't see getting away from him. You don't see a family. You don't see a support structure. You see only one out. And it fucking sucks and it's horrible, but that was her out. She was a sad drunk. Maybe if her daughter would have gone and tried some weed instead of treating the locker up, says Tom. And Brooke says, maybe. So let's do a little bit more of this shit as he talks to Emily.
I don't care if it shrinks.
Well, she's out of control. She refuses to go to rehab, and when we force her, she refuses to stay.
And what makes you think this time's gonna be any different?
Because this time she won't be able to check herself out. She's going to be involuntarily committed to her doctor's care. He's agreed to appeal for a 14-day hold. She's done it before.
So it goes through all of this, and then we see something dripping from the chandelier, and he goes running up the stairs, and he finds the bath overflowing, and she took the bottle of pills and is in the bath. Back on Ed Harris's face, and this scene right here, the look on Ed Harris's face is just next level awesome. It is showing without telling. Is everything I love about acting is Ed Harris in this scene when it comes back here. So good, so crazy as he makes his way to his feet in 24 here.
Why in the hell are we going over this? What is it that you want?
I told you. I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Fuck you.
Excuse me?
It is you, isn't it?
What are you talking about?
This is sadistic, Robert. You just want to shove what I've built here in my face.
You think...
There's enough bullshit. You're just here to distract me. Knock me off my course. It's cleverly disguised. Well, I see through it. Nothing's stopping me from getting to the end. Not another one of your games. I make my own decisions, and I'm gonna destroy this whole fucking place.
You don't just think I'm a host. You think everything here is for you. You think you're on your own little tailor-made narrative.
If the real Emily were ever here, she'd either at an extraction point by now, or she's long gone.
Okay. You want the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
The real truth? I'm not a host pretending to be a human, Dad. I'm your daughter, pretending to give a shit about you.
No, it can't be true.
You've been hiding in these.
You're lying.
So you've completely lost your grip on this world, on what's real. Oh yeah, you laugh, enjoy whatever dream you.
VF Warlord says maybe William's wife saw all his data, including the possible death or replacement with a host. Maybe the realization she's been fucking a robot for a year was unbearable. That's definitely a possibility as well, VF Warlord. You could view all of this in the William as a host thing. And I think that's what's cool about this. They make it clear, but not completely clear. I'm not willing to go all the way with that, but I can definitely see now for the very first time everything together and understand the perspective of William as a host. Helen said, that's an excellent point and interesting, Warlord. She got no facial expressions, which makes sharing the screen with Ed Harris very challenging. So Emily and Men in Black talk about what to do with Mom. So we back on Ed Harris's face as great acting as he makes his way to his feet. And he says, fuck you, Robert. And she's like, I'm going to expose your research for everything. I'm going to lock it all up, lock you up.
Living in. When this is all done, I'm going to expose your research project along with you. Everything you are, everything you've done, it's going to come to light. I'm going to make sure of it. And when it does, I'm going to lock you up. Just like we were going to do to Mom.
Just like
you did to Mom. You were the one with that idea. You made the call. Or did Ford forget to give you that little detail?
Fuck Ford. How could I ever forget? That little detail haunted me. I blamed myself for her death. But then I stopped because I had someone else to blame.
Remind me, Tom.
I read your profile. Mom left it for me. It was all she could do to open my eyes to the lies that I've embraced about you. You haven't lost yourself to pretending. You are, in your very essence, a lie.
Ooh. Oh, fuck. That it's just bam.
It's over, Dad.
So then QA shows up and they're like, we're human. And ultimately, it's really kind of a funny situation where she's like, he's not quite right in the head.
So is he. He's my father.
And he's all fucked up.
She's not my daughter.
Nope.
He's lying.
She's
down on the ground.
She's bored.
Holy shit.
So
That's the boss.
he ultimately in this scene steals the machine gun and shoots everybody. He's taking a psychotic break. Listen to her.
That's true, sir.
You underestimated me, Ford. I'm gonna see this one through no matter what.
There really is, Helen. There's a lot of foreshadowing to that. So he kills them all, and she's like, dude. She'll start saying it in a second here. She's like, dude, you kill real people. This isn't a game.
Those were real?
Yeah.
Real people. This isn't a game.
This isn't fucking Pokemon.
I can show you.
And he shoots her down. And he looks in her hand. He looks to see if she's a host. But ultimately, he finds that little key card that Ford gave him and realizes it's really his daughter. So we come to Smithers Kyburn guy who's fucking with Maeve, and he says, "I want to. I'm gonna do my little magic spells on you. I'm gonna fuck with you. Mwahaha. I'm gonna take your head off and put it on top of the mountain. Play, damn you."
Mankind is poised midway between the gods and the beasts. That may have been true in Plotinus's time, but clearly we have fallen quite a bit since then.
Now, I'm just going to shut the fuck up and let Anthony Hopkins take over. This is an awesome part. This was great classic Anthony Hopkins acting. Hearing him care, hearing him show more emotion was an exceptional extra touch to Ford, and seeing how he does have an affinity for all of these hosts, especially Maeve. I talked about this earlier. I love seeing this, and I love seeing these other sides of him. It makes the character that much better. Anthony Hopkins can just mail in a role and be great because he's Anthony fucking Hopkins. It's Joe's point. We all, not we all, but I love Joe, and I know a lot of people do. Joe makes a point about Anthony Hopkins that he loves him as an actor, but he mails in a lot of performances. And I can't argue with that. He can get away with it because he's Anthony Hopkins and he can just sort of be himself. But when he tries, you get that next extra level. I feel like in season 2, specifically season 2, season 1 as well to a certain extent, but season 2, you're trying Anthony Hopkins. And he's just on a next level of understanding that people love this show, understanding that this is a good platform for him. And he's bringing that extra gear to his acting, at least for me. Maybe not for everybody, but for me. And these last few episodes, last episode in that scene with the scalping part, and in a few parts of this episode, but specifically this scene. No worries, Justin. It was still very fun to pop on in.
Oh, my dear girl.
I'm going to sit back and have a drink.
You learned so much, so fast.
Fine Essence says, Ford can be my host, Daddy.
King Star. Brought so low. I had a different story in mind for you. Waking from the dead.
And this is really cool here, too, that we get to find that Ford really did want her to leave the park. He didn't want her to have to deal with any of this. And the daughter thing was something that a decision she made on her own. He didn't want her to come back in for the daughter. And I think that's cool to get to see that as well, to see in season 2 that Ford isn't all powerful, that a lot of things are happening outside of his control, like what happened in the last episode and what's happening in this one.
Video killed the radio star. At last, riding far away from here to freedom. A tale of escape. I didn't want you to suffer here. Look at the creatures you have to share this world with. These men of stone. All this ugliness, all this pain. So they can patch a hole in their own broken code. Sometimes I felt the only way to endure this world was to laugh at it. So I imbued the hosts I made with a worldview that reflected my own.
You can imbue me anytime you want, big boy.
And of all the hosts I made, you, Maeve, were my favorite. It isn't easy to contemplate letting your children die. You were as close as I got to having one. Still, I underestimated you. You stayed here in this world.
See, I want to interrupt and do my little babblery, but it's hard to interrupt this shit. This is just so fucking good.
To save your child.
If William was a regular host, would he have C4 in his 6th vertebrae and it would blow his head off if he left the park? He must not have the C4 implant. That's why I think it's some sort of hybrid answer. Stephanie was saying that she speculates that she thinks there is a host William, that he made a host version of himself and I've said this a couple of times, to go into the real world, and real William has spent most of his time in Westworld. I don't know if I fully buy that, but she did want me to say that theory. Let me turn the volume down. I turn my volume up a little bit to play the drums. No one wants to hear me play the drums. I have another comment from Preston on the text, and I forgot to mention our PayPal donator says, "Don't I get a spin of the wheel?" You of course get a spin of the wheel. Let's spin the fucking wheel for you. And as I always say, if you super chat donate, you get to spin the wheel, and there's so many things. Whoa. And you got a good one, PayPal donator. You got an amazing one. You got review commentary of your choice. That means you can request that I review or do a commentary on anything that you request, and I will make it happen. I don't always do it in a prompt time, but I always get it done. I'm just recently started watching Bates Motel to watch for Jasmine, who won that originally, and I will also be watching Gungrave soon for another super chat donator. So everybody, so please email me at igotissuesman@gmail.com to let me know what your request is, and I will make it happen. So more.
So have I. I tried to chart a path for you to force you to escape, but I was wrong. I should have just opened the door.
What door?
You've come so far, and so much of your story left to tell.
Broke says, what you got to pick is a podcast on Legion. He's a hybrid like he did on Humans. They are hybrid, had human brain, but organ synthetic. Kind of like the Borg, too. Bernie, Humans, is that worth a watch? I've had a couple of people say that's similar to Westworld. Is that something that's worth watching? Oh, I got to get into this one. I would like you to review Altered Carbon. She's making money, though. And I do got to say that, and I don't often pub the super chat or anything like that, but we do have the super chat wheel, which if you donate, I spin the wheel, and if it lands on the thing, you get, I have to do the thing that lands on the Switch. There's a couple of things like play trumpet, where I can't play trumpet at 12:30, so if it's something I can't do, I spin the wheel again. But we got icy spots in the live motherfucking chat. Great to see you. So he shows his affinity. He shows his affinity for Maeve.
Don't let them.
He kisses her, and he gives her the ability to unlock her own code and kind of repair herself, which we see in the next episode. Spoiler alert, if for scenes for next week. If you don't watch scenes for next week, pause for 2 seconds. She's up and about in the next episode. So we go off to the car, to the dune buggy, and Elsie and Bernard.
They're dead.
Yeah, and armed. At least we can get some ammunition.
They show up where the QA guys, when the Men in Black killed all the people. We get a fun little camera moment. Where the camera swings around and Ford is right behind Bernard.
She's going to betray you, Bernard.
D says a standoff between Maeve and Clem will be something because Maeve's emotions for Clem. And I think Maeve's emotions are key. I'm very curious how Maeve is going to change after coming through all of this. I feel like Maeve in a certain way has been sidelined the last couple of episodes, and it definitely disappoints me because Thandie Newton's so amazing, but she's so overpowered that they need to sideline her a little bit to make other shit happen. But I'm very excited to see her back up and about and see what happens when she faces off with a character like Clem. We have two people that it's almost like two wizards facing off at some point in time. It's going to be very fun and see how that all plays out, because it's going to be difficult for Maeve to deal with that, as you said, from an emotional standpoint. I don't understand how she deals with that. Clementine's very important to her, and Maeve is a very emotional being, that it makes it difficult for her to make decisions that don't consult her emotions. And dealing with someone like Clementine, seeing her up and about as a vehicle for the humans to fuck with her, I don't know if she's going to easily be able to dispatch of her in a way that's going to be effective. It's going to be fun to watch, though. Human is good, yes. Kind of like last week's Westworld episode, good dialogue and characters. Laura G says, no one is killing Elsie. She's going to run that whole fucking place at some point. Westworld, good. OTDA, very good. OTDA, great to see you in the live motherfucking chat. Live motherfucking chat. So, as I'm pretty buzzed right now. I can't lie. I'm feeling goofy. Exceptionally. We're almost towards the back half of this episode. I can't say it enough, but I say it a lot. Thank you to everyone that joins me this evening for this silliness. Thank you for Justin and everyone on that podcast over there before the dust settles for allowing me to hijack their stream for a few minutes. And thank you to all of our Super Chat donators and our PayPal donator for allowing me to keep doing this silly podcast every week. So let's continue into our next thing. We look around and we see a fun camera thing, and Ford is right behind Bernard. And what the fuck's this guy got to say?
She could have let me die days ago. She saved me.
She is going to betray you. What you want to do about it is up to you.
I'm not going to hurt her again.
She needn't feel any pain.
Oh, hi, everybody. This is Goofy. You know what? You should totally fucking kill her. Hi, everybody. The Goofy thinks you should fucking kill her.
Humans will always choose what they understand.
Me and Ford think you should kill her.
The only animals left in this
Do
world
it,
are the ones
you
who
dumb
survive,
fuck.
who curl at their
Dumb
feet,
fuck.
or those who learn to flee at the very sound of their approach.
Yes, Tom. Oh, well, sorry, Tom. Tom said, that's not a stupid question. I think they can get drunk. Icy Spot says, Phil, any meaning to Williams' profile being Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse 5? I don't know, and I definitely have to check that out more, but great pickup on that. I did not see that. But I think there is some significance to Williams' profile. I definitely have to rewatch that and look into it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that will be doing videos and breakdowns that are into that sort of thing that you can check out. That will be breaking that crap down. As I'm getting drunk, I'm silly. Let's read Preston's comment. Also, we have no reason not to believe that the park would be simultaneously a ground for data mining as well as fidelity. What a better way to test fidelity than by comparing gameplay with his new body. Believed it more before I watched the episode, though. Now I'm like, meh. I was happy Westworld didn't pull The Walking Dead, because if Glenn and Elsie, I don't know, OTDA only on milk. That's what my brother said. Spots. You guys are awesome in the live chat. I cannot say this enough. And then we look around and we get this amazing camera thing. And let's listen to more Ford and Bernard's head before.
There's nothing in between.
Leave me alone, please.
I merely offer you choices. Tim shall, Bernard. Thou mayest. But remember, this isn't just about you. There's the origin of an entire species to consider. We need to open the door.
What door?
Get out of my fucking head!
And then, of course, I need to capture that audio.
Get out of my fucking head! Get out of my fucking head!
She's going.
Get out of my fucking head!
Get out of my fucking head. Get out of my fucking head. Get out of my fucking head, you motherfucker. You're gonna be fucking dead. Oh, yeah. Get out of my fucking head. Get out of my fucking head. You gotta get out of my fucking, get out of my fucking, you gotta get it, motherfucking. hold the door, rotting on the floor, dragging on down, but you rock the door, you gotta flip it down, rocking it down, wriggling on the brain, slip it up, rocking, I'm driving insane, but you gotta flip up, Okay, so then we look around, we see this camera thing, and then he's like, get out of my fucking head, and then we go and get a knife, and Ford... Then Ford says this.
Hey, fighting me off. No need to struggle, Bernard. I'm right here.
No. You've only brought violence. I can stop this on my own.
Indeed, Bernard. You are the only one who can stop it. Stop all of it.
Get out of my fucking head. Get out of my fucking head. So Ford is like, I'm right. Elsie gets into this shit too.
There's only a few left. Not much ammo, except for... What the fuck happened to you?
I had to patch a glitch.
Are you gonna hurt me?
No, I didn't want to take any risks.
Okay.
Keep it.
But ultimately what happens here is Bernard ditches Elsie. I think Bernard really does care about Elsie, and I like their relationship. I'm not a big, I ship these people, but I definitely ship Bernard and Elsie. I think there's something there. She definitely has an affinity for hosts. I don't agree with Ford that she's going to betray him. I believe in Bernard and Elsie. I'm all about them. Okay, so then he leaves her again, and she's like, fuck you. So off to the Men in Black and his horse. He's about to fall down, but he gets off and he walks. He sees his daughter, and his memory now is all going to end as he sees he finally puts his gun to his head, and we've seen this vision for a while now as we get a flash of some shit.
Tell me the truth. Tell me one true thing.
Get out of my fucking head. You gotta get out of my fucking head. Get out of my head. Get out of my head. You gotta get out of my head. Drowning in silence. Ripping till I'm dead. Drowning in the concrete. Ripping on my breath. You gotta find sensation to assess. You gotta sigh. Get out of my head. So... Billy Crystal looking for Ford before the makeup trailer. I can't picture them fucking, but I totally push them as a pair. I guess that's the more thing. I honestly agree. I can't imagine them in that sort of scenario, but I do imagine them having some sort of affinity or connection together. I'm sorry. I'm getting goofy here at the end. It happens. It's amazingly silly. And if you've made it this far in this podcast, I know we got live motherfucking chatters. Not everyone's made it this far, but the people that have made it this far, you guys are excellently amazing. Excellent! You guys deserve all sorts of silliness. You deserve random songs like this and like me to play some So we go off to the Men in Black on his horse, and he falls down, but he gets back up, and then he walks off. Then he sees his daughter in his memory, and now he's going to end it all. He puts the gun to his face. He sees the flash or his wife's voice, but it's not true. Then he goes back to the night that he tucked her in, and we see the finality of that situation. I got.
Trapped inside a soul, feeling tired, burnt out of control. Your mind wants to fly, that your body lies on the earth forever. So relate me here, just for a second. Gotta stop, pause, try to section. Keep my bones from the words sewn, and you try to own, but you never get it. Figure out from the words I'm chasing. Your hesitation can cause cases. I'll hold out, trying to be thrown out like a rag. Hags, Phil, ain't the way for me. I'm hoping and I'm trying to be free, 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 free from these issues.
Tom himself says, the Men in Black's profile said category 47B, occurrence 2.0072, rare, /301.94, precursory subtype 2.96-.902 delusions, /301.818 paranoid subtype. That's what she did to DA. Damn. OTA, the moves. So is Emily a bot? I don't think Emily was... seriously, guys. I don't think Emily was a bot. Eric Cartman. I don't think Emily was a bot, but the Men in Black, it's still... that's still out there. I was watching her eyelids waiting for them to move. She did that before when she was trying to get some before. No, Emily was a humans. You got smooth shoes, Phil. I don't think so, Eric. Laughed my ass off. That's why I showed up late. People listening are missing out on this. I know. The people listening to the audio cast are just going to think I played a music cue there right there. I'm just happy I got to come back in babbling and didn't really miss the silliness. That's why if you're listening to the audio cast, I highly recommend you always try to subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out the live stream. And if you're listening to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to the podcast or follow the feed, because you never can tell when YouTube channels might go down and random shit might happen. You never can tell with that shit. So make sure you subscribe to us in many different places so you can always find us no matter how the world goes. Now, Eric Cartman is leaning towards the theory that Emily is indeed a bot. Casey Atheist, great to see you in the live motherfucking chat. Eric Cartman, I am not poo-pooing your theory. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it is going to be cool to see as the series continues. We know we have a season 3, and we know that next week's the final episode of the season. It's going to be crazy to see how much we get. Now, let's read what Eric Cartman's thoughts are. Too many clues. Number 1, she finds him 2 times in the park. Coincidence. Now go over to number 2. She explicitly says the box was thrown out. Now, Broke Blackman says, it would be funny if Dolores made a host version of Emily and sends it back to the Men in Black that implies more fucked you shit. And Eric Cartman says, and she never saw it again. And Casey, yeah, that is fucked up. Lots of love to Devin. YouTube fucking sucks, so you never can tell when they may fuck with you. But as always, lots of love out to our good buddy Devin. Huge big hug to you, buddy. And fucking YouTube. When it comes down to it. That's why always make sure you subscribe to the podcast or subscribe or follow me on Twitter, all those places, because you never can tell. And the podcast hopefully will always exist some place or another, or some live stream or another, but you never can tell what ends up working as a good live stream function. So always keep following us if you like what we do. I'm going to keep doing this, but you never can tell if another option pops up besides YouTube for live streaming. That's better. I might play with that a little bit as well. So I do have a Twitch channel as well, which I might do some live podcasts from there. So make sure you follow me, Phil the Issues Guy there as well. So blah, 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 blah. Laura D, I love you. Laura D, I fucking love you, dude. We got the Red Walrus is in the motherfucking chat. I love you, Red Walrus. It's great to see you. Great to see some of our old school friends some of our new friends, some of our silly friends. I'm passing over the 2-hour point. This looks like it's going to be a long night. Almost done here. We're passing through the end. We're going towards the end part of this podcast. But as always, thank you so much. For anyone that's listening to this, this is me alone talking for like 3 hours on a podcast. So I appreciate anyone that listens this far. And if you do, make sure you let me know. I don't care when you're listening to this. That's why I need to come up with, I don't often do this stuff. That's why we need to come up with like a silly hashtag or some shit so people can share if they listen to the end of the podcast. So at the end, I'm going to come up with some sort of term or silliness that people can share out if they enjoy this podcast and listened this far, like Lotus Love Muffin or something. We'll figure it out as we get later. So we go after the men in black on his horse about to fall down, but he gets up. We go off. We get a flash of his wife's voice. No one else. Then we see Logan. We see Billy. We see him talking about his darkness as he finally gives his wife some truth. Give us some truth.
This thing in me.
Eric Cartman, and I know you guys can see it because chat replay is a thing, and I also have it on the screen. If you can read some of Eric Cartman's points, he makes some excellent points to the Emily is a bot theory. So I definitely want to, that's what we try to do here on this silly podcast, is give all mindsets, whether you hate the episode, love the episode, have a different theory than someone else. I want to leave this as open as fucking possible because anything's damn fucking possible with this fucking Nolan and this Joy. Anything's fucking possible with this fucking shit that these fucking motherfuckers are trying to fucking do. So I do appreciate all the different thoughts in the comments and all the different thoughts all about. So hashtag Lotus Love Muffin. I think that's where we got to go with that, Red Walrus. I'll ask again at the end if people want to think about one, but we'll see if Lotus Love Muffin works. Looks like it's going to be a long night. Cryptic Phil, Game of Thrones, return to 2019. What? Game of Thrones? Are we talking Game of Thrones? I don't talk about Game of Thrones enough, motherfucker. Broke. You leaving a voicemail? We gonna get a Broke Black Man 94 voicemail tonight? He's like, you asshole. You asshole. Phil, you're dead to me. This thing in me, I keep hearing a Johnny Cash song. This beast to me was Johnny Cash. Seriously, what a piece of shit the Men in Black is. Logan was right about him from the get-go. Bernie, the burnt, blunt. I totally agree with you there. I think if anything we've learned in the back half of the season is what a piece of shit Billy is. What a gigantic piece of shit Billy is. Okay, so let's continue here. I've been watching tons of Game of Thrones theory videos. I have a bad Game of Thrones Jones. My problem is I don't do a lot of theory videos, but we are doing these character videos. Next one will be Euron. I've got a lot of fun guests that are going to be popping in on these things, and there may be something coming up soon that I'm going to be talking a lot more Game of Thrones. We'll have to keep an eye out for that if that ends up matriculating into a real thing. So we'll have to see about that. But so who knows? There might be some fun things in the future for some Game of Thrones talk for me. Where I might be learning some shit. I literally was typing. I didn't hear what Phil say to make me say you're dead to me, Phil. I literally was typing. I didn't hear what Phil says to make him say you're dead to me. There's a lot of shit people could do to make me say you're dead to me. Tom, the Ford files are probably in the trash bin. It's definitely going to leave us on some cliffhanger bullshit next week. Absolutely, because they knew going in that there was going to be a season 3. OTDA is absolutely right. Dennis, I have to read it again to talk about some fire. I mean, you definitely have time. I'm not a big reader. I'm an audiobook listener and also a viewer. I'm a TV guy first when it really comes down to it. I love the books. I know the books are better in that context, but I ultimately love TV as my favorite medium. That's why I talk about so many different TV shows. I mean, Men in Black has to die next week. We can't have him running around next season yelling, Ford, fuck you. Fuck you, Ford. Ford. Counselor. Counselor. I know you're out there, counselor. You win or you die. Where am I? Oh, 34. Let's see Logan and Billy.
Even I didn't see it at first. And then one day, he was there. A stain I never noticed before. Tiny flicker of darkness. Invisible to everyone. But I could see nothing else. Till finally I understood that the darkness wasn't some mark from something I'd done, some regrettable decision I'd made. I was shedding my skin. The darkness was what was underneath. It was mine all along. And I decided how much of it I let into the world. I tried to do right. I was faithful, generous, kind, at least in this world. It has to count for something, right? I built a wall and tried to protect you and Emily. But you saw right through it, didn't you? You're the only one. And for that, I am truly sorry. Because everything you feel is true. I don't belong to you. Or this world. I belong to another world. I always have.
This is such a crazy, awesome monologue. And then classic television, we see that the character isn't asleep while listening to all of this. She's actually awake. In fairness, I've done this in real life too. I pretend to be asleep more than I'm asleep. I'm never asleep. For good or for bad, I'm literally never really asleep. I'm always in some form of awake. Hashtag fuck forward. Emily's a bot, calling it Sarah Carmen. Hashtag fuck forward. Hashtag no she's not, says Jenny. So she's looking in his profile. She sees everything he's done in Westworld, and she can't believe it. She looks horrified. And it's worse than she thought, and she eventually kills herself. As we come back in on the Men in Black's inner monologue, let's listen to this.
What is a person but a collection of choices? Where do those choices come from? Do I have a choice?
If you keep pretending, you're not going to remember who you are.
Oh, I wish I was the host. And what else? Okay, so Men in Black's inner monologue to kill himself, and he hears his wife's voice. This is when he's like ripping into his arm, and I think he's starting to believe he's a host, and there's all this sort of situation. So then we get into our Teddy and Dolores section of the episode. Excuse me. And we get into the most important part of the entire episode. The Splenda section of the episode. Let's not forget the natural, glorious Splenda of this entire situation. Splenda drop. There, motherfucker. You thought I was Odo? Did I shapeshift? Did I turn into a crane beast? Dennis, thank you. You cannot make enough Deep Space Nine references. I don't mind it. Broke says, I can't wait till next week's episode when we see Emily, not a host, but the Men in Black is. Oh snap! I'm typing the spoilers again. Oh fuck! Fine Essence says, him and Dolores porn especially. See amateur porn career. Phil is a host. I'm definitely. Can you replay all? I can't replay all Emily's dialogue, but I definitely am feeling what you're saying, Eric Cartman. I'm not quite there yet, but very cool shit. And I love, that's what's one of the things that's awesome about this show is it tells us enough. We get enough answers, but it also opens the door for so many possibilities. Time to chop up the splendor. Is it time to sniff some splendor? Is it that kind of show? Am I going that far? I'm almost to the 3-hour point. I might have to sniff some splendor here. I might have to do it. So then we see Teddy. Ooh, as my beard wraps up against the microphone. Sorry, audio people, again, where I'm just going, hey, feel that? That's my beard rubbing up against the microphone. What kind of asshole am I? So, is Splenda trending on Twitter? It's because of us, goddammit. Splenda is trending on Twitter because hashtag, whoa, holy shit, Splenda's flying everywhere. It's raining Splenda. It's raining Splenda. It's raining Splenda. Okay. Men in Black is the only human in the park, says Eric Cartman. Very interesting shit. Okay, so then Teddy is heading in a structure. We see his gun and Deathbringer's there too. And she comes to him and he talks about the natural Splenda. So let's hear about some Splenda.
We gotta keep on, Teddy. We're close now.
Just taking in the natural splendor.
I'm just taking in the natural.
That's what you used to say.
Isn't it?
Except there isn't a trace of nature in any of it, is there? Or in us.
No. But that means we're free. We'll be the first creatures in this world to make a real choice.
The people they made us. Sometimes it feels like it was all a dream.
So ultimately what happens with all of this is Teddy discloses to
We were so in love.
Dolores that he knows that she hacked into him. He can't kill her. She's his cornerstone. She's the first thing he ever remembered. As we flash to over here.
Bring yourself online.
As Arnold puts Teddy online.
Welcome to the world, Teddy. Do you know where you are?
You're in the jungle, babe. You're gonna die.
I'm in a dream.
Very good.
I remember the sound of their voices. The chill in the room. Mostly I remember you. I remember worrying you were cold. I wanted to reach out.
So eventually he gets to this.
Which is why this is so hard.
I agree, Eric Cartman. Teddy is the only good host left. I feel so bad for what Teddy has had to go through being manipulated by first the dynamic of the host dynamic and being the Kenny of the whole park, and then having to deal with being manipulated by Dolores in the situation. It's a fucking bunch of horseshit. Cornerstone equals your constant. It's interesting to think that the hosts all have this cornerstone constant, but if you really look at it, we all do too. Everyone has their specific cornerstone, the thing that's most important to them.
changed me. Made me into a monster.
I made it so you could survive.
Bernie makes an excellent point, but really, she makes an excellent point, but really, how's he in the lake unless there's duplicates in there? Laura, thank you so much for checking out. We're gearing towards the end. I know it's really late. We're getting toward the late point. But Laura, thank you so much for sticking around for so long. Thank you so much for all the support. And I will talk to you soon. Eric says, what's the point if we're becoming just as bad as them? Excellent line, Eric Cartman. OTDA, a host choosing suicide is crazy to me, purposely choosing that.
What's the use of surviving if we become just as bad as them?
It's a very good point there. I think his cornerstone, he can never imagine hurting Dolores. So this is the only thing he can try to do to stop her, to not let her use his talents against other people.
I understand now how this will end. Where you will lead us.
You don't want to hurt me, Teddy.
Okay, so we're almost to the end here. And again, one more time, thanks to everybody. So Arnold and Teddy see Dolores in a dream. Mostly he remembers her and he ends up killing himself. And he turns the gun in the hand, and you changed me into a monster, and I'm dead. So he will protect her till the day he dies. This is our last clip.
No. No, I could never hurt you, Dolores. I'll protect you until the day I die. I'm sorry. I can't protect you anymore.
Oh my God. And then the Dalmatian puppy came from the darkness. And that is ultimately our episode. Teddy kills himself, and it is crazy. And it finishes. And let's go in the live chat. I'll protect you to the day I die. Immediately say thanks. Good night, Phil, in the motherfucking chat. Good to see you. I said I was shocked, but not really. Question mark, what the fuck is going on here? And then we also see scenes from next week, which look really amazing. By the end of our episode, Teddy kills himself. Dolores is freaking broken down. She does not know how to deal with this and what to move forward. Now she's completely alone with whatever her end goal is. And I do think, how does Teddy end up in the water at the end? Possibly he's brought back by Dolores in some way. I'm trying to remember scenes from next week. I don't think we necessarily see Teddy, but I can imagine he will be back at some point. This turned into a horror stream with music and a mask. What's going on here? I was saying I was shocked, but not really. Good night to Casey Atheist. Later, funny season 1, episode 9, Bernard shoots himself. Season 2, episode 9, Teddy shoots himself. There's a lot of shooting themselves. So if anyone has any last questions, now's the time to pop them in the live chat, because we're going to start to end things up now. But I got to thank everyone for tuning in. And next week is going to be the series finale. I'm going to be on. It may be a quicker show than usual because the next 3 days are really crazy for me. So I might not be on for as long as I usually am. Basically, it might not be a 3-hour show is what I'm saying. It might be closer to an hour and a half show. So we'll see what happens next week. But I do appreciate everyone that checked this out. Joe and I will be on, I believe, on Wednesday night. I'm not sure exactly what time yet, but we will be talking about Cheers. That's right, the 80s sitcom Cheers. We'll be talking about. It's a request, and I'm very excited to be talking about it. And then on Sunday, we'll be talking about the series finale of Westworld. Then the following week might be a little cryptic on the channel just because it's a very busy work week, but July and August are a lot more loose. July will be as much Game of Thrones stuff as I can poke into July, as well as Glow and some other random content. August, we'll start to get into Better Call Saul. That comes back early August or mid-August. And then we got a lot more shows coming in September and some more surprises coming too. So definitely make sure you subscribe to Broke Black Man 94, who's in the live motherfucking chat right now, to see his reaction to this episode of Westworld. Check out everybody else and all the fun that's going to be happening this week for Westworld discussions. Let's go. TOS, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, everything else, especially that episode, that crap Voyager. Fuck Voyager. Funny thing, Westworld never disappoints. What Brooke says, funny thing, season 1, Bernard shoots himself. So, everybody, if you haven't already, and you enjoyed this podcast or live stream, whatever you want to call it, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. If you're listening to the audio cast, please join the fun. Let's go. Where am I going? Do I have it right here? Is it here, Phil? I don't know, Phil. There it is. If you want to help the channel a little bit, Super Chat's not your thing. Patreon's not your thing. If you shop on Amazon, start all your shopping with this link. You don't have to buy anything you see in the store, but if you start the shopping, I'll get like 20 cents for purchases on Amazon. This shit adds up. So start all your shopping with that link. Save it in your browsers. Do it. If you enjoy the content we do, you can definitely check out Patreon. You can definitely check out all that shit in the description box below. And please, please, please share the channel with a friend. Have some fun. Help us keep growing. Do it. Do it well. I'll be back very soon, sooner than you think, for more silliness, more live, goofy streams, more calls from you, more awkwardness. Did I get all the calls? I did. And no, the music's gonna run out pretty soon, so I have to end things. Oh shit. But click all that stuff. Find the description box below. Help out the channel. Please do it. Talk to you guys next week for the season finale. Oh no, I'm still on. What happens when you're still on? When you're still on, you haven't pushed the button yet. You haven't done it. So let's do it. Do it. You haven't done it, so let's do it.